All right. So, as I have currently stated to you guys, streams like this or whatnot will be a low view count, right? So, I'm just gonna, try to get as straight to the point as possible. Um, One of the videos that I did probably about some years ago, right, was to um, a trailer that I saw by the name of Cuties. If you know what it is, then you've probably either seen it or you may have seen the trailer. If not, then you can go look it up because it's clearly directly on YouTube. The main thing that I want to point out is the fact of how it is that back in, I want to say about 2020, which is the article to the left, Rolling Stone said that um, Cuties is a coming of age movie caught in cultural wars, right? When you go look at the trailers, the different trailers that they had of Cuties, right, you'll see these very young girls there. And within the movie, well, within the trailer, you will pretty much see them dress and dance provocatively. Like the dances and the movements and some of the actions that they are performing are what you would normally see of older women, right? You would normally characterize a lot of those things with, older women, because, older women are, of course, of age, and they're trying to get the attraction of men directly out there. So, you would have women dressing provocatively, scantily clad, whatever you want to sit up there and call it, making certain hand gestures and different things, of that nature in order to get the attraction or the attention of men. But instead of it being grown adult women, doing some of these things, you would have this with these girls. And then there's also a part in the trailer where obviously you can tell that these are young girls, right? And they're sitting up there having conversations with what are technically older guys. These are more than likely full-fledged, teenagers. Let's say about maybe what, 17, maybe 18, somewhere in there, right? Because the guys they were asking, like, what is your age? Are you really this age? All this other type of stuff, right? And we all know that normally when girls are of a certain age, they will lie about their age in order to attain a guy, right? Because they don't want to be like, oh, well, he's not interested in me because of my age. So they're going to lie. They're going to fake their age in order to obtain whatever it is that they are specifically looking for, right? And during that time that I covered that trailer and you were going online, you saw a lot of people basically trying to state that, oh, there was nothing wrong with the movie, this, that, and the third. They were trying to throw the blame on everybody else that had a problem. They were trying to say that the people who are critiquing the movie are the problematic ones. The ones who are critiquing the movie are the ones trying to sexualize the imagery that is there and not specifically the movie doing it itself. When that is incorrect. That is incorrect. And as I stated before, if you look at a lot of these foreign films, there are certain things that are there that are allowed. And I've talked about other foreign films before where you will end up having a guy having a relationship with somebody who is clearly a youth, somebody who is clearly younger, somebody who is clearly not an adult, but yet it's a-okay because it's a movie, as if it's not promoting a certain thing or a certain type of ideal, right? There was a movie I think that might have come out about 2 or 3 months ago. It was roughly the same thing. I think didn't it have Jeremy Irons in there? Somebody might know, specifically what it is that I'm referring to. But there, there's a movie out there. It might be an old movie or what have you, but the movie, it does exist. So then, in contrast, you got the same Rolling Stones who decided to state that Sound of Freedom is a superhero movie for dads with brainworms. Isn't that quite a difference? So you got a movie that's, in a sense, trying to push a type of narrative saying that, oh, these are just young girls coming of age and they're just figuring out themselves and how they are and how they fit in this world and everything that comes with it and yada, yada, yada. Like I said, in one of, again, also dealing with the clothes that they are wearing while they are dancing provocatively as the youths that they are. You also had the one image that they tried to glorify as basically the coming to age, just girls having fun, which is, I want to say it has to do with the aspect of the girl taking money from her family, whatever, and then her friends going like a shopping spree or whatnot. And you see just all of the bras and all of the things that I guess they are going to wear when it is that they go and dress up for this dance competition and stuff like this. And no, usually for these dance competitions, they're getting judged by adults. So again, problematic, right? You're judging these youths on dance moves, on the dressing and how it is that they're performing. Again, this is something that should be happening when it deals with uh, people of age. Just gonna sit up there and put it the best way that I can, right? But then when you have, again, Sounds of Freedom, from everything that you can pretty much see in the trailer, you got a dad that's pretty much trying to do the right thing. He is going out there trying to tackle something that is way, larger than him, right? And he ends up inevitably finding out that it was like, yeah, this is, a pretty, big thing to cover. One of the kids that he ended up, helping out asked him like, hey, can you please, find my sister? And he went on a mission to, in a sense, do just that, but not even just so because of that, but he also has a family himself. And he's looking at it as, what if that was, my daughter? What if those were my kids? What would I specifically do if those were my kids that I came home and I didn't see them there anymore? Right? You heard the wife in the clip, she'll be like, well, you will quit your job and you will go out on a hunt and you'll go find your kids. Right? So that's what he did, and he went down to South America with working with another group in order to try to help stop these things, or at least to try to hinder it as much as possible, because again, this is something that is way bigger than him. And it's funny to see those out there in the media writing articles and trying to bash a film that is trying to bring to light a real world problem. And as they stated directly in the trailer, that this is based off of a true story, right? And then when you go on Twitter, you'll see people like, oh, what's the true story? Where's the video footage? Where's this? Where is that? All this other. Like I said, you got a whole bunch of people coming out of nowhere trying to make it seem as though that this is something that is just, it never happened. But this is what um, the Rolling Stones article that was written yesterday stated, right? In quotations, based on a true story, right? And the writer said, I heard from somewhere across the theater. The familiar words had appeared on screen, and an elderly man had taken it upon himself to read them out loud to the rest of the sizable audience seated for the matinee showing of the anti child trafficking thriller Sounds of Freedom. For the seasoned moviegoer, this phase is a joke. We know that cinema will stretch almost any truth to the breaking point, and the rank insincerity of such a prominent is the sound of freedom, is the foundation of the prankish opening title of Fargo. But this crowd, I could tell, would view the events depicted over the next 2+ hours as entirely literal. So I'm just trying to figure out that if you literally have instances where people in Congress are telling you that, hey, we've had X amount of kids basically, disappear and all this other type of stuff, we don't know what happened to them. In the United States, again, we had an incidence where we had 30 to 30 plus kids basically disappear and don't nobody know what happened to them. Even law enforcement came out and said, out of their such and such decades or years of dealing with law enforcement, they've never seen anything like this before. So even though we have stories, actual stories, not coming from a fictitious news source, we got actual stuff out there, and you have people still trying to say that these things, like, it's just fictitious. These things don't happen. Like, what proof do you actually have or anything? Like I said, I need people to start questioning a lot of stuff. You need to start looking at a lot of these people that are trying to body block and trying to tell you that stories are fabricated, that these things never happen, that these things don't exist. They keep asking, what proof, what proof, what proof, what proof? When clearly, if people wanted the proof, they can go look it up for themselves. But magically, for whatever reason, people would do a half-ass, shoddy job when it comes to actually doing any type of just looking up some simple things. And magically, they're like, well, when I looked up certain things, I really didn't get any hits. I really didn't see anything. So, obviously, this is just a, made for Hollywood movie. And, they have no actual valid proof of any of these things happening. So I don't even get why they would bring out something like this. But yet, again, as I've told you guys before, beyond a lot of the stories and the topics that I've covered, I've made sure to cover topics like this. And I've brought to, hopefully, to the awareness of people, to parents, to guardians, that you got police officers, you got doctors, you got nurses, you got judges, right? You've had prosecutors, you've had businessmen, you have people with trust funds. You've pretty much had people all over, that have had their hands, directly in dealing with the situation. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out what actual more proof do you actually need, unless you're trying to not highlight it due to the fact that this is something that you are in, that you are interested in, and you don't want people to uncover the fact that this is something, that you agree with and that you follow and that you are 100% interested in, that you have hands directly on this subject, on this topic, because you're that far deep in it. Like I said, I've always found it quite interesting, the topics that people, in a sense, choose to pick and talk about, right? When you look at a lot of podcasts that take place, there's a lot of easy topics to, talk about. We can talk about the gender, we can talk about race, we can, potentially talk about we can talk about a lot of things, right? We can maybe even talk about things going on between other countries, right? Those are pretty much easy topics. But the main topics that are easy to talk about, that hit close to home, are topics that deal with children. People know that these things are happening, but people refuse to actually look at these topics. People refuse to actually have a conversation about these topics. I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of families that have had more conversations about gender, issues, meaning men versus women, versus what's happening with the kids. When I look online every single day, those are the conversations that I see that people willingly have. They're excited. Like, I'm talking about, people are literally excited and hyped to have conversations every single day about men versus women, about gender norms, gender roles, and all these things, right? Easy stuff, right? Because you can easily attack it. You can easily try to tear it apart. You can do this and that. You can have a stance and all these other types of things, right? But how many of these same individuals are willing to sit up there and tackle a topic that is this difficult? How many people are willing to get outside of that comfort zone and actually talk about something that actually means something? that can actually potentially save somebody's life. Talking about gender norms and gender roles, that's not going to save a child's life. That's not going to bring a child back home safely. That's not going to shut down a lot of websites where a lot of these individuals go in order to buy from a market any of these children. It's not going to make sure that your child is at home safe. Gender roles don't have, realistically, just being real. Talking about men this and women, how's that going to bring somebody's kid back that was snatched at a park? I'll wait. I'll wait. How are any of those conversations that we see on podcasts every single day? How is that going to sit up there and make sure that somebody's kid is safe? It's not. It ain't going to do nothing about it. Like I said, and I tell people again, I understand distractions, right? Distractions are made for a purpose. Some people want to be distracted from the real world because they're just, out there having their hard time at their job and doing all of these things, and people want to come home and they just want to be comfortable. But my question to a lot of people, to a lot of adults, is that how are you going to be comfortable when, in a sense, you're living in a lie? Basically, meaning, how are you going to be comfortable when at any moment in time your family can be broken apart because of one decision, because of the lack of defense, because of the lack of education? How can you sit up there and live comfortably in that type of ignorance? Oh, that's right. You live comfortably in it because it's not happening to you yet. You can live comfortably in the ignorance because it's not affecting you yet. And this is when I have talked about a lot of times that you have a lot of adults out here that don't care about kids. Because the main people that are doing this to the kids, why these kids are disappearing, why these kids end up on these websites, and why these kids are getting trafficked, is because of adults. But like I said, magically, adults ain't really trying to talk about it. It's not a real subject like it should be, right? So for me to try to make this real to a lot of people, I'm going to play like two videos, right? One is going to be of Justin Bieber. I'll save that one for last. The first one is going to deal with a woman, but and I made sure some of the words might be a little bit off, just a bit. Some of them might have been blacked out, blurred out, or whatnot, or whatever. But when you hear what it is that she is stating, you'll see how promotion of certain types of things is very problematic when it deals with society and the normalization of certain types of things. So let me just go to the clip that I want to play for you guys, right? So let me just swap that over.
Age don't mean nothing because my boyfriend just turned 20 and he's taught me so much more, and I'm 27. And
You a cougar.
I met him when he was 20. I met him when he was 17. I didn't date him till he was 19. And now he's 20.
Okay, can I ask you one question? I never heard that. Would you be considered a pedophile?
No.
I'm serious.
No.
I'm serious.
I didn't know. Okay, when I met him, I didn't know he was already established.
Can everybody see I'm saying serious?
No.
I'm being serious.
I'm so sorry. That's why let me break this down for a second.
Because the age is better. Okay, we just said Marcus Houston. Everybody mad at him right now for what he did. That's what you did.
No.
That's what you did.
That's not what I did.
Okay.
I knew when I met him, he was 17, but I didn't talk to him. And because he was opening his own gym, he was doing his own thing, so I never knew his age was
At
a
17.
thing. No, but look, let me tell you, I didn't talk to him. Once I found out his age, I stopped talking to him, and it took 2 years for us to follow up.
That's cap.
So what's the youngest y'all both would date?
So we heard that, right? Right? She originally sat up there and said that she's 7 years older than her boyfriend, right? And that he taught her so much. So then she said, I met him when he was 20, right? That was the first lie right there, right? And then she turned around and said, I met him when he was 17. So let me go back. Let me just scroll that back real quick. She said, I met him when he was 20. Then she turned around and stated, I met him when he was 17, right? And then she said, I didn't date him until he was 19. So you an older woman, you met a 17-year-old, you was talking with him, was already having relations. But once you basically started believing a lie that you basically fed into your mind, it was okay. But now that you're saying this lie out loud, you have to go back and cover your tracks. So let me just go back and repeat this one more time for the people in the back that might not understand what's taking place here, right? She originally stated age don't mean nothing but a number, right? Because remember, everybody got mad at R. Kelly, correct? Right? That was a song by Aaliyah, right? Age ain't nothing but a number, right? Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But she said that age don't mean nothing but a number. My boyfriend just turned 20, right? And he taught me so much more, and I'm 17, right? So she's basically painting a picture that she is 7 years older than her boyfriend in the first lie. So then she said that I met him when he was 20. And then she turned around and said, I met him when he was 17. I didn't date him till he was 19, right? And then she basically stated a little bit later on, right? She said that she was, serious about this, right? That she basically she knew the boundaries that I found out that this was his age. I stopped it right there and I sat up there and just waited, right? Which would still then mean that she was having conversations directly with the 17-year-old, correct? So then the guy he sits up there and goes into the whole thing dealing with like Marcus Houston B2K. If you don't know anything about that, you can happen to look that up. He's basically saying that that's within the same realm that you're basically doing the same thing that that individual did, right? And she was like, no, 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 that's not how it was. And then she later stated that I knew when I met him that he was 17. Huh? Huh? Let's just keep going, right? But she said I didn't talk to him. And she said that even though he was 17, he was basically he appeared older to me. Why? Because he was established. He was opening a gym at the age of 17. I'm not saying that it's impossible for somebody that's young to be smart enough to actually open up a business, but you're not going to tell me as a grown ass woman that you didn't know that he was 17. You're not going to sit up there and tell me that. You're not about to sit up there and do that. You're not about to do it. You're not about to do it, right? So then she later on stated that so I never knew his age, right? Because he was 17 and opening up his own gym, right? And then she was sitting up there stating that she didn't talk to him, right? And then once I found out his age, I stopped talking to him, and it took 2 years for us to follow up. Really? So during that 2 year span, everybody kept the same number, everybody kept the same contact, and y'all were just like, you know what? We're going to keep each other's number, and we're going to hold off from doing anything. We're just going to be just strictly for ourselves for 2 years. Really? So you mean to tell me that you found this 17-year-old who obviously you said he was opening up a gym. Obviously, people who open up gyms, they're pretty, they're at a type of physical peak, right? They look physically attractive, right? So obviously this woman found the 17-year-old physically attractive in the same instance that she would find a grown adult male. But we're not dealing with a grown adult male. We're dealing with a teenager who's opening up a gym, right? She stated that she didn't know his age. She didn't know anything about that. She just knew that this man was here and he's opening up a gym, and that's all she's sitting up there looking at. But then once later, she found out his age. She automatically went cold turkey and just stopped talking to him and waited 2 years. There are guys locked up right now who might have wives or girlfriends, and their wives or girlfriends are currently seeing other guys while their guys are in prison holding down that sentence. You're not going to sit up there and tell me that a woman that has no ties, no bonds to a whole nother individual is going to sit up there and sit in silence like a nun, and she's going to hold off for 2 years for a 17-year-old to sit up there and reach a legal age, and that you just okay, 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 all right. So I'm just trying to make. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to see if anybody in the chat can make sense of what it is that I was saying. And note, this is a woman who said this on a podcast. And I want to note to y'all, I've heard a lot of women say this, but you know the funniest thing about it is you don't really hear a lot of women really trying to condemn this type of madness. But let's go to the classic, good old double standard. What would happen if a man said this on a podcast? How would men be reacting? They wouldn't be laughing. They wouldn't be trying to co-sign. They will be very cautious on every single thing, including how their facial expressions would be. The women on the podcast would not be laughing at all. Everybody will be serious. And then you would try to have dudes try to insert them like, yo, if that was my sister, let me tell you, man, yo, it'll be on site. Yo, me and the guys, like, we'll have to sit up there and come, we'll have to let you really know what it is, and yada, yada, yada. Right? That's normally what you would get out of dudes. They would try to insert themselves and their families in there to try to have this type of stance where it's like, yeah, I'm Superman and I got the Avengers with me, and we want to sit up there and really bring forth the justice. But when it is that you got women that say this, why is there not a double standard where women will come out and try to insert their families and try to do and try to say the same things that men would normally sit up there and say? Why is that not a thing? Ain't that something? Ain't it funny how when something is wrong on one end, it's completely fine? So it's wrong when if a man was to explain this exact same circumstance with a straight face, everybody would be trying to hang this dude, get out the pitchforks and the torches, right? They'll be trying to take this dude out to the firing range, and everybody know that to be true. But when you got a woman sitting up there saying it, you don't see none of this energy. Ain't that something? It's almost like it's okay on one end and it's wrong on the other, when realistically it should just be wrong on both sides. But maybe it's just me though. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the crazy one here. Maybe I'm looking at this a whole different way. Like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe I've been covering a lot of these stories for too long, and maybe I'm just I don't know, because I'm really trying to understand. Matter of fact, we got 30 people in here, and then we got 11 on the other channel. Let me just replay this for the people that might not have been able to hear what it is that I'm going over. Let me just let you hear it one more time from the woman's mouth.
Age don't mean nothing because my boyfriend just turned 20 and he's taught me so much more, and I'm 27. And I met him when he was 20. I met him when he was 17. I didn't date him till he was 19. And now he's 20.
Okay, can I ask you a question? I never heard that. Would you be considered a pedophile?
No.
I'm serious.
No.
I'm serious.
I didn't know. Okay, when I met him, I didn't know he was already established.
Can everybody say I'm saying serious? I'm being serious.
Stop. Okay, let me break this down for a second.
Because the age is better. Okay, we just said Marcus Houston. Everybody mad at him right now for what he did. That's what you did.
No.
That's what you did.
That's not what I did.
Okay.
I knew when I met him, he was 17, but I didn't talk to him. And because he was opening his own gym, he was doing his own thing, so I never knew his age was
At
a
17.
thing. No, but look, let me tell you, I didn't talk to him. Once I found out his age, I stopped talking to him, and it took 2 years for us to follow up.
That's cap.
So what's the youngest y'all both would date?
Right. So again, and this is not the first instance that I've covered something like this. There was a female rapper who literally said the exact same thing. She's obviously older, and the guy that she was with, she was doing like her bars or whatnot, and I'm just gonna say pedal, such as what you would use on a bike or a car, right? So in one of her lyrics, she basically explained like her age and the age of the guy and all this other type of stuff, and she was like, "Does that make me a predator?" Right? She's basically stating that as a older woman that she goes after younger guys, and she posed the question, "Am I a predator?" And I'm like, this is rap lyrics. I'm like, nobody's saying nothing about this. Nobody sees this as a problem. But like I said before, we coming back to that double standard. Because if we go back to a lot of the things that women have stated about men making or writing certain type of lyrics, or men being with certain types of individuals who are not of age, every woman everywhere screams bloody murder. And they're like, something needs to be done. Where are the men to do something about this, to come see these men? Where are the men of that family to come specifically and see that man? And I'm like, you know what? Y'all right. I don't got no problem. Y'all 100% right. But my main thing, like I said before, this is why, again, this is why I hate double standards, because people like to pick and choose. So when it is that you got women that are openly stating this, just like you have men that have openly stated this, where are the women of these families? Where are the women in general to normally speak out about this, to say that this is wrong, to call this type of stuff out? And I normally hear a type of silence. Again, like I said before, it's all fun and whatnot to sit up there and talk about the gender wars and all this other type of stuff, the men versus women, women versus men, and all that other type of stuff. But when are a lot of these podcasts and stuff, when are a lot of these individuals going to start talking about this type of stuff here? Right? Again, people always want to sit up there and like, yo, we need to start crucifying a lot of these men. We need to find them and yada, yada, yada. No problem. I 100% agree. I am not disagreeing with people having that opinion, having that move. I have no disagreement with that, because if this is what you're actively doing, you got to face consequences. I'm just simply stating, when is it that we're going to sit up there and see women have the same attitude? Because I'm pretty sure that some of these young guys out here, they're somebody's son, right? They're somebody's nephew. This is somebody's grandchild, right? But like I said before, the world is not built to actually care about boys and men. The world is basically built to care about women and young girls. So this is why you see the reaction that you see even when it deals with women stating who it is that they specifically go after in a predatory behavior. Because a comedian by the name of D. Ray, he sat up there and came out and stated that his mom's friends came directly after him at the age, I think he was in between the ages of 12 to 14, somewhere in there. You can go back and look at the interview, right? And you can see, the type of, in a sense, like shame or whatnot that he had in his eyes when he was sitting up there telling that story. And of course, he made a joke out of it. He was laughing about it. But like I tell people, you gotta laugh at stuff in order to stop from crying. But like I said before, whenever another case in point, Adrian Broner, he was on a podcast and it was a serious conversation. And he was sitting up there, people were talking about assault and whatnot, right? And he was going over how when he was younger, he was basically assaulted by a woman. And all the women on that podcast that were there, they were all laughing at him explaining this story. They all found it hilarious. They all found it funny. And I'm like, wow. So I mean, okay, so when this happens to women at a very young age, women are defenseless and they don't know what to do. This is just, it's a horrendous thing, right? Right? That's what everybody states. But when it happens to a boy of the exact same age as that girl, it's like whatever. Nobody cares. It's a laughable circumstance. Wow. Wow. That's, like I said, with doing social media, like being here doing this for like so long, it's amazing to be able to see how it is that people react to a lot of things. It's amazing to see how people's insight changes when it's somebody that doesn't specifically look like them, and how it is that people are silent directly on that. Because again, I've seen so many women and men advocate for women and children who have been assaulted, but I don't see that same energy when it deals with young boys and men. But we all basically state that these types of things that I've covered before are wrong. It just should not happen at all. But yet the double standard is still applied where it's bad for one and it's okay for a whole nother side. Why is that? So to me, within that, it speaks volumes as to why it is that a lot of kids will not get found. It speaks volumes as to why it is that a lot of kids are able to be kidnapped and you don't have a lot of adults in a sense caring. If it's a girl, all right, fine, yeah, we want to sit up there and search. We're going to do whatever we sit up there and can and yada yada yada. If it's a young boy, it is what it is. You can have more kids, right? Nobody's going to be up in arms to sit up there and try to find like a young boy who was, snatched up and might be getting trafficked. And no, 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 no. It ain't gonna be like that. But like I said, it's both are wrong. You got two situations that are pretty much the same, and they should be treated the same. But the fact of the matter is, in reality, they are not. So again, this is why these situations and these problems that are prevalent, that are dealing with these kids, this is why these things don't seem to get fixed. So let me go to Justin Bieber. And I want y'all to pay very close attention to not just the body language and the things happening, but also what is being said to Justin Bieber in these clips. I'll make sure to play it twice because it'll get to a certain part in the video where it might be a little bit muffled, so people might not really be able to hear it, right? So let me go to the next one here.
Being that young and being in the industry. I feel violated right now. Thank you. How old are you? I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
You want to say it again? You have beautiful lips.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
You got great lips.
So just within those small clips, you saw quite a few things, right? You saw a grown woman who is not even, to my knowledge, related to Justin Bieber or anything like that, grabbing Justin. Now again, let me just rephrase this, right? We saw a let me just scroll back to that, right? Right? So we see this woman grabbing Justin Bieber. We all know who that woman is. We see her grabbing Justin Bieber with both hands by his neck, right? And she's forcefully kissing him, right? Now let's flip this. What if that was an adult male celebrity grabbing a female celebrity, a young female celebrity, by her neck on stage, forcefully kissing her? How would everybody react? What would social media be looking like at this moment in time? What would everybody on a podcast be talking about? Oh, this is what we're talking about with men. You guys think that you can just do anything that you want to sit up there and do? How can you decide to forcefully put your hands on a woman or on somebody's daughter and think that it's okay to sit up there and kiss them? What if that was your daughter? Right? It'll be all of these things that women will sit up there and want to say. And then you will see all of these women, talking about traumatic stories that they've either experienced or that other women have experienced or that they read on Lifetime or whatever it is, right? You have everybody saying stuff. But the roles are reversed. We got Justin Bieber being forcefully kissed by an older woman. Where's the outrage? Where are any of those women trying to recount any of the stories that they've ever went through, or that they know of, that they've heard of, that they've seen on Lifetime, and where they have to sit up there and say that this is wrong and we need to put a stop to this and something needs to be done, and all nowhere. Silence. Straight silence. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Right? So then we sit up there and we go, right, to the next one where you got a grown man coming next to a young Justin Bieber when he's 16 and he's getting close enough to basically smell him. And he was like, "You smell good." What? That's weird. That's why would a grown man be trying to get that close to a 16-year-old to sniff him to say like you smell good? And then how old are you? I'm about to sit up there and turn 17 in 2 weeks. Nobody finds that as weird. Nobody nobody finds that as strange. That doesn't set off any type of red flags for anybody. Nobody's going to question any of those things. And like I said before, y'all wonder why it is that a lot of these Disney stars, why it is that their lives cascade out of control. You wonder why it is that they went from old, being old, sweet and humble and all these other type of things to then when they become adults, now they are sexualized. But everybody forgot about Britney Spears when and this is what I didn't even sit up there and know during that time when she was, basically out there. She was a teenager when she was doing a lot of those songs, right? When she was dressed as like a schoolgirl, shirt was basically open, skirt was basically up, and all of that, sexualizing herself, right? And the main people that was sitting up there watching us were men who were older. So the video was being pitched to men who are older, and nobody's questioning why it is that a teen girl was able to be sexualized on the market like that and sold. She was literally paid and sold and sexualized like that for the world to see. And then people wonder why it is why a lot of these celebrities sit up there and break down. That's because a lot of them have to go through a lot of things when they are younger. Go listen to an interview dealing with Shirley Temple and her mom, and you'll find out what happened to her. If you don't know who Shirley Temple is, then you should go happen to look that up, right? So then let's go to the next one, right? You got this dude right here. Let me just leave it directly on here. You got a dude next to Justin Bieber. I'm going to say it again. You got some beautiful lips. That's a grown man. That's a grown man. Let me just stress that. That's a grown man telling Justin Bieber during that time that he has beautiful lips. Where nobody? Nobody? Nobody saying nothing? Nobody found this to be an issue? Like I said, it's funny. The double standard that is directly out here, this lets me know that people don't really actually care the way that they say that they actually care. It only when it gets a little bit too close to home or when it seems a little bit familiar, right? Now people want to sit up there and speak, but if it ain't familiar, if it ain't close to home, magically don't nobody want to say nothing. Because the funniest thing is when I sit up there and I look at a lot of these things, I'm like, maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe it's the fact that I'm seeing stuff that's really not there. Right? Maybe I'm making these things directly up in my mind, right? In order to just find a problem, in order to have a problem, in order to seem like I'm really doing something directly out here. Like, like I said before, it gets to a point in time where you just really start to think that you're the crazy one out here. Because it's almost like you're the only one really seeing this stuff. Because everybody else is clearly focused on the exact same stuff that everybody's been focused on for the longest time possible. And I'm like, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to do like everybody else and start taking some drugs, and I just need to start calming down. Maybe I just need to sit up there and just relax. Maybe I need to start drinking like everybody else, and I just need to be like focusing on some sports. I need to learn the stats of a baseball player, basketball player. I need to memorize a lot of stuff that don't mean nothing. Right? Maybe I need to realistically relax because I am just running myself insane trying to theorize and see things that realistically are not there. And the funniest thing is, I had just recently came across a video of Kurt Cobain, and he was also talking about some stuff too. I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm just seeing the things that I want to see, right? In order to create a villain that doesn't realistically exist so that I can be the hero of the story, right? The same things that I normally sit up there and state, but maybe, right? I've just been, trying to push a story of my own making, right? Because like I said, when I go out here and I look at social media every single day, I kid you not, I see people talk about the exact same stuff in a perpetual circle. It's a forever revolving door, and it's like the stuff that people talk about. I There are no solutions. It's just that. It's just a forever circle, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. It's that's been like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Right? And like I said before, and you know how I said to people before that the Coliseum is open, right? Meaning that all of the distractions, like for the main 2 years, that was erased out of everybody's lives, right? There was a point in time that the Coliseum was shut down, and that when a Coliseum was shut down, you actually started to have some type of journalistic integrity start to actually show back up. It started to creep back up just overnight, right? Because journalistic integrity doesn't really, in a sense, exist because it doesn't have to, because you can just, really push and put out propaganda, and legally it's okay. So during the time of the pandemic, when the Coliseum was closed, meaning that you had everything dealing with sports, you had NASCAR, music, everything was technically shut down. Almost the movie industry was pretty much shut down as well, which means that anything that was actually going on outside in reality, away from all of this entertainment, people for the first time actually had to sit down and sit in that, and they had to focus on it because that's the only thing close to entertainment that they had. And people slowly started waking up. And you literally saw people from all over the world coming together and talking about these issues. And it started getting to a point where it was like people were realizing what the real problem was. But before that light could even cut on and make it to those final 5 steps, you know what happened? The power cut back on. The Coliseum was open again. People were able to sit up there and go through and, play the lottery. People were able to sit up there and go back to the casinos. People were able to go back to their favorite bars, go back to their favorite movies, go back to their favorite shows, go back to their dance halls, go back to their clubs. People were able to go to family gatherings and meeting. Everything was back open. And then the world returned right back to where it was as if it never missed a beat. And here we are. And here we are. Timothy said the Coliseum. Do you mean like gladiators? Yeah, yeah. Because if you happen to go back and you do, a little bit of looking, they'll sit up there and tell you that the moment in time that the Coliseums were open, aka a distraction, you had the powers that would be behind closed doors making deals, doing all types of nefarious things, right? They would be doing a whole bunch of movements while everybody is distracted, right? Now, the difference, sort of, kind of, is that even though the Coliseum is open, you have stuff like C-SPAN, right? You got C-SPAN and other, government channels that people can freely access, and they can watch the voting process. They can see what the government, in a sense, is doing, or what so much that they allow you to see, right? Because even though they allow you to peer in, they're only going to allow you to see and hear so much, because there's been certain instances where if they voted on certain things or whatnot or whatever, it wasn't aired, or mysteriously something happened, or whatnot or whatever. And even with that, they'll still do stuff behind closed doors, because remember, a lot of these politicians, they have people that put money directly into their back pockets. A lot of businesses and a lot of corporations be pumping millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars throughout the government in order to get these politicians to say yay or nay for certain things that they want passed or that might have something to specifically do with what it is that they want or need. And they've been doing this. You have corporations and the government sleeping in the exact same bed, and that is not supposed to sit up there and happen. Just like you got the government and church sleeping in the exact same bed, that is not supposed to sit up there and happen. Everything should be separate for very obvious reasons. Nobody should just be, hey neighbor, hey, how are you? No, 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 no. Can't be. You can't be sitting up there having that commingling. Nope. I ain't with it. I ain't with it at all. So, like I said before, nobody found a problem when you got Justin Bieber getting talked to by a grown man saying that you got beautiful lips. This is how I know that people are going to get caught up in a hurricane and they're not going to know what to do because that's when what inevitably is going to happen. Because again, I'm not sure if people are actually noticing and realizing, but a lot of the stuff that I have been showcasing and talking about, you got a lot of people that are just out in the open about a lot of the stuff that they believe and do. Again, I showed y'all a politician that sat up there and stated that the age of 12 is not too young to be married. Like I said, and this is the reason I told y'all that this live stream is going to be low view because stuff like this, YouTube is going to make sure not to sit up there and put out there and or promote, even though it is a very serious topic and it is a very serious issue. And also, I can sit up there and safely tell you that I do know for certain that YouTube is watching the channel because it was a very interesting thing that set up there and took place because of the live stream. And I did say during the live stream that it was a potential chance that it was going to sit up there and happen. And what did YouTube do? They decided to sit up there and make that live stream 18 plus because of one picture, and that is of a grown adult. And the funniest thing is, YouTube has rap music videos of female rappers that are shaking their butts all the time, that are sitting up there twerking in bathing suits. And none of those videos are 18 plus. And those are videos where you see moving parts. In certain instances, if you freeze frame those videos, which I'm pretty sure, I guess YouTube doesn't know how to do, if you actually stop and pause some of those videos where the women are moving, you can see some things. But yet, even still with that, even though I can spot that, I guess YouTube can. Um, the live stream that I did yesterday was marked as 18 plus. So there's that. So again, I know, and I'm talking about that instantly. I'm talking about like roughly the same day. They pretty much marked that within a 24-hour period. They marked that bad boy 18 plus. So I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that somebody out there is sitting up there really watching, sitting in the background. So shout out to you, whoever you are. Hopefully you're watching this the same live stream now. I wonder what it is that you're going to try to, talk back to your bosses and report to try to get this video marked. I wonder what specifically are you going to be able to find or do or say. I wonder. Because again, it would look very suspicious if magically something happened to this live stream or it disappeared or it got marked a certain type of way. Because I would have to question why. Because ain't nothing getting shown. YouTube shouldn't even have a problem with this because this is highlighting a real world issue. Just stating, just saying, it's a little bit weird to me. A little bit weird how one picture of Kiki Palmer in a sheer dress in a bathing suit. It was like a two-piece, right? She had the sheer dress on, and then you saw the bathing suit. And you were able to see her butt like you are able to see most women who are in a bathing suit, but no private parts were actually being shown. But yet again, if I go directly on YouTube, I could probably even do it right now, but they would probably decide to try to mark the video as whatnot or whatever. But for anybody that is actually interested in what I'm stating, you can go on YouTube right now and look at women doing clothing hauls. Clothing hauls are basically when women sit up there and get these buy clothes in bulk. It could be bathing suits. 9 times out of 10, it's usually like bathing suits or very, form fitting clothes. And when women are doing these clothing hauls, um, a lot of times you can point out that these women are not wearing undergarments. So they're not wearing bras, they're not wearing any type of pasties, and they're especially not wearing underwear because you can really very easily see the imprints of what it is that God made. And funny enough, that YouTube doesn't seem to make those videos 18 plus. And they're literally trying on these clothes throughout the whole duration of the video. And if you actually want to see where specifically people are, in a sense, at when it deals with these videos, you can actually highlight the moving red bar, and depending on if you have your YouTube or your app or whatever you're using updated, it'll show you the spikes in the video, meaning the spikes are basically letting you know that this is the main part that people came here to see. And when women are basically trying on these clothes, you'll see those spikes at various times, especially depending on the outfits. And again, women know what it is that they are selling, that they are directly putting out there. Women know that if they're trying on clothes, of course they're going to have other women that are going to watch the videos, but 9 times out of 10, the people that are going to watch it the most are going to be men. Because what? Men are attracted to women. Women have bodies. Men are interested in women's bodies. Men want to see certain things. So you're going to end up inevitably noticing that. But yet, even with all of everything that I've stated, YouTube don't make any of those videos or all of those videos 18 plus. Isn't that interesting? Because the funniest thing is, again, YouTube makes money off of those videos, just like the content creators of those videos make money off of those videos, right? They generate a lot of views and different things in that nature. Just like a lot of these other videos that are hidden away from the normal vision. It's like you got a normal side of YouTube, and then you got the not normal side of YouTube where YouTube turns a blind eye and allows things to transpire and be whatever, right up until somebody reports it. The only difference is over on that side, everybody is in agreement with everything that's going on over there. So ain't nobody going to be sitting up there reporting it. And if somebody does, it's going to be one out of every 100,000 that's going to try to sit up there and report it. And YouTube ain't going to pay attention to that. Like I said, some of those videos that I'm talking about and many others that I'm not mentioning, they got millions of views, in the upper hundreds of thousands to million plus views directly on there, and they're still directly on a platform and they're not marked as 18 plus. It's hilarious. It is pretty hilarious. But anyways, like I said, it is what it is. I've noticed that, if you just so happen to showcase a black woman, and she happens to have some type of a shape or a form, and she is wearing a bathing suit, guess what? YouTube is like, you know what? We're not going to, do anything with this video, but we're going to make it 18 plus. There's something in the video we can't specifically, they'll be like, we can't specifically really point out and say what it is, but obviously something in this video is 18 plus, so we're just going to in general make this video 18 plus. And the funniest thing is, there was a woman that I did a video on. She was a part of the government, and I think she was running for. It wasn't Idaho. It was for, I forgot what it was. It was for some state, I think, on the East Coast, whatever it was. And she was twerking in a bathing suit on the beach upside down, right? And YouTube was like, what, this video, we're gonna have to make this 18 plus. We're gonna have to make it 18. And I'm like, when you look at it, she's, of course, I mean, she's twerking, but it ain't nothing being shown. Nothing is being shown. But I'm like, y'all say y'all gonna make this 18 plus. But yet, if I would have done a video and it was showcasing a white woman that has a normal European frame and she was dancing, Nothing. Silence. It wouldn't be 18 plus. They would probably actually propel and push that video. But like I said, maybe it's just me. I've been doing this for so long. Maybe I'm wrapping myself in my own conspiracy, made story where, I'm just basically thinking and seeing stuff that ain't really a problem. Like I said, this dude talking to Justin Bieber saying that he got beautiful lips. You know what? Maybe I'm taking that out of context. Maybe that's just me. Maybe in somebody else's country, a grown man, telling somebody who is younger that they got beautiful lips, maybe that's nothing. Maybe that's a real world compliment, right? Maybe that's just what people, do in other countries. You know, maybe me sitting up there seeing this woman grab Justin Bieber with both of her hands around his neck, forcefully kissing him. Maybe that's just me sitting up there trying to see a problem where there is no problem. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. Like I said, I can admit when I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all the stuff that I'm trying to sit up there and report on, maybe I am, maybe I'm 100% wrong. Maybe, doing this comparison right here in between how it is that, Rolling Stone decided to say Cuties is a coming of age movie. You know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe Cuties actually is a coming to age story, and maybe, like the other people stated, maybe the people that have a problem like me, maybe we're the ones trying to sexualize the story, right? Maybe we're perceiving and seeing something that ain't really there, right? Maybe when people talk about Sounds of Freedom, just being some type of movie for dads to feel powerful, like they can just do anything. Maybe it is for people with brainworms, right? Maybe none of the things that I've reported on actually existed. It was just something that was made up. It was just to cause a problem. I don't know. I don't know. But like I told y'all before, I guess I've technically pretty much shifted content making to doing like live streams for like for like an hour for whatever reason. Um, you know, like I said, I don't specifically know what to tell people. Anymore. I pretty much just feel like I'm just, either I'm crazy or I'm going crazy. You know. Timothy said, "I'll be getting your notifications. I'll be working." Mr. Durant, what is up? What is up? Much love and appreciation. Said, um, they don't like the truth. We got Lotus in the building. What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Who else we got up in here? We got Miss Joy in the building. What is up? Ms. Joyce said, I think women should be held to some standards as men. The double standard ish needs to stop. Yeah, and like I said, that's all I'm saying. Like I said, the funniest thing is whenever I've done a lot of videos, people don't even understand that I'm showcasing a lot of these double standards and how the stuff does not make sense. The most pushback that I get whenever I do videos about women or a specific group of women is that people just so happen to say, "Oh, why you always focused on this specific group of women? Why you always saying this? Why you doing that? Why you never focused on men and da da da?" And then you have some of the other women that'll sit up and show up with like, "Oh wow, I've been married for such and such amount of years, and my husband basically said that it's weird that men like you would sit up there and basically just make videos and focus on women and da da." I'm like, realistically, I don't know your husband, so I don't care. His opinion doesn't matter to me. So, it realistically doesn't matter. Whatever he's saying is not affecting nothing here. It ain't going to sit up there and change my views. Not going to change whatever it is that I've stated. But, again, it goes and it shows the fact that people will only specifically run their mouth and only speak and critique on certain videos. Because, again, I've done tons of videos dealing with kids being kidnapped, kids being mistreated, all of this other type of stuff. None of these people who always want to critique me, they never show up to say anything about those videos. They never have an opinion. And I'm like, that's very telling. So you feel like you want to talk on one thing because you got somewhat of a leg to stand on, even though I'm trying to point out a certain double standard and double standards needs to stop. But then when I'm pointing out some real world issues that could potentially affect your family, you don't magically show up to those videos. You magically don't write nothing in the comment section. You magically don't have no type of critiques. You magically don't have no type of pushbacks. So like I said, it further proves exactly what I've been stating when I tell y'all directly on this platform that you have a lot of adults that do not care about kids. And a lot of adults are not going to care about kids up until something happens to their kid. And it's sad that it has to come to that. It's sad that some of y'all families have to go through certain situations that are negative in order for you to understand that there is a problem and something needs to be done. It's a shame that children, in a sense, have to be sacrificed in that manner in order for adults to actually do something. That's crazy. That's 1,000% crazy. Yo, Ty, what is up? Ty said, is praised. Her brain is working, but with the world being the way it is, it's normalized. Oh, let me tell you, brother, it's not normalized yet. It's going to get there. It is slowly getting there. And I said this a while ago. I told people that once people can go back and listen to some of the earlier live streams, some of the earlier videos I did, and I was consistently telling people in a multitude of videos, once you open up Pandora's box, you got to let everything through. You got to let everything in. There is no way that you're going to be able to say no. Once you crack that boy open for the stuff that you want, you got to let everything in. You got to, because that's how it works. Pandora's box doesn't just work because you see something that you like and then it's going to allow you to grab in there and just get what it is that you want, and that's it. No. Once you crack that open, everything comes with it. And like I said, everybody going to see it, and it ain't going to be nothing that people can do. Once it's open, it's open. That's when the real games are going to sit up there and begin. That's when the real scrambling is going to begin. That's when the real worrying is going to sit up there and start. But like I said, it's too late. It's going to be too late at that point. Like I said, we talk about pre-programming all the time. What is the main thing that we always sit up there and see when it deals with people trying to fix a problem? They want to fix it when it's too late. So when we saw the Terminator, what's the thing? Humanity wanted to sit up there and fight when robots were already able to basically take out humanity. They can make their own ships. They can make their own bodies. They're all throughout the computers. They pretty much disabled anything that humans were able to do. The only thing and the only way that we could fight back is by using computers that they weren't specifically hooked up to, which was few, far, and in between. We were losing a battle that we, in a sense, started, but we warned ourselves about, but we still went at it because we thought that we were smarter than the AI intelligence that we created. But the AI intelligence outgrew and outsmarted us. Look at the Matrix. Everybody wanted to basically fight when it was far too late. You saw what the Matrix looked like, right? But then you saw what the real world looked like. AI, the technology, was basically, it grew to a point where it was like, in order for us to survive and basically harbor certain things, we got to sit up there and block out the sun. So that's what you saw. It was nothing but desolate rain, nothing growing. And you saw all of these incubation pods that were just growing human beings from babies all the way to adults. And it was absorbing their life force, absorbing their energy in order to use it so that they can harness it in order to sit up there and survive and multiply. That's exactly what they did. And they had control of both the real world and in the Matrix. But what do humans want to sit up there and do? Oh, when we got a few numbers, that's when we're at our strongest. That's when we can sit up there and fight the best fight. That's the main reaction I've always sat up there and seen. If we want to sit up there and talk about pre-programming, we're already at that stage. That's the one of the biggest pre-programmed things right there. We all seen it throughout whatever shows, right? All of our favorite superheroes or anime characters, when their back is against the wall, it's only a few of them against the army of 100. Somehow, some way, through hope and determination, they'll sit up there and be able to fight back this great surge of evil. Realistically, if we're actually being real and we're thinking about the numbers, two people are not about to take out 100 or 1,000. Your body is going to sit up there and give out. Your brain is going to sit up there and give out. You're not going to have the energy. You're going to lose that determination. You're going to lose that fire. You're going to start to get hungry. The wear and tear is going to start to work down upon you. If you don't get enough sleep, how are you going to sit up there and continue fighting? But like I said, pre-programming is a bitch, ain't it? That's the real pre-programming right there. Because the only time that people decide to react is when it's far too late to sit up there and react. And that's the same thing that's going to sit up there and happen when the real shit basically hits the fan. And again, it's going to be too late. Shout out to Hack. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up, Major? What is going on? What is going on? Mint, what is happening? What is happening? So I think I caught everybody up there. Let me start rolling back down. Praise said, I came to say that Cuties is demonic and needs to stop. I agree. I agree. Praise said also, I seen something I had to say I disagree with the other day. Right now, women are doing Jezebel things like keeping fathers out of children's lives. So let me say they tripping. It is what it is. The main thing that I've understood, you can go by um, social media. You will have the loudest ones directly out there, and they'll sit up there and continuously state it to you um, that they don't need in the society dealing with modern women of now. They will state that they don't need a man. They will state that I don't need a man's protection. They will state that I don't need a man in the house. They will state that I don't need a man in order to raise a child. I don't need a man to be a father for my child, right? And then they'll also sit up there and state that no man can control me or tell me what it is that I need to do or anything like that. So again, Judge Hatchett basically stated to a woman who was getting a divorce from a husband or whatnot that she screwed over. She basically stated that her father told her, never make a man, paraphrase. She was like, never make a man tell you more than once that he don't want to be with you. Here we are in a society on social media and everywhere else where you got women sitting up there telling men that they don't need them. But yet, in the same vein, they still need a man's protection. Now, let me go directly into that, right? A lot of women will sit up there and say that they don't need a man to protect them and yada yada yada. But yet, 9 times out of 10, when you go to the hospital, your doctor is what? A man. So you need a man for your medical. When you're thinking about your insurance and your insurance coverage, 9 times out of 10, it's a man running that. Who owns that? Right? That's where that money is directly coming from, right? Then when you go to the banking aspect, it's 9 times out of 10, usually it's men that's running that, right? The money to and from your bank account, all that other type of good stuff. When it deals with the housing, right? That's men who allow that to be possible due to the fact that men are the ones that are building these houses, building the technology in order to build houses easier, right? And then when it comes to the benefits that women are able to get that don't have the father directly in the home, it is men yet again who are giving women the ability to even get money in that way, enabling that and keeping that so that they can sit up there and do it. And then also when women actually need assistance when somebody breaks into their house, who is the first one that they call in? 911, can you get me the police? 9 times out of 10, who's going to be the first ones to show up to your house? It's going to be men that's going to show up to look around the area, to look around your house, inside of your house, in your basement, check out the windows, check out the doors. There's going to be men there. If your house is ever on fire, Who are you sitting up there calling? 911? I need firefighters at my house. 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, you're going to see men come in there in fire trucks, in fire gear, ready to risk their lives in order to stop this fire or to pull you directly out of a burning building. So it's, like I said, it's quite funny to sit up there and hear women state that they don't need a man. Wherein, if you look at society and you look at everything that was built, men did that. Men enabled this. When you think about the electricity, men are sitting up there running a lot of these power plants, nuclear power plants. When you think about the sewage system, women ain't sitting up there like, yeah, I want to go down and I want to clean the sewers that's full of like rats and giant flying roaches. No, it's men sitting up there doing that. Stinking and smelling to high heavens, got God knows what types of creatures crawling all over them to sit up there and keep this plumbing and all of these systems running. So like I said, it's, I guess it's good to sit up there. It's a good thing to say, but when you're thinking about the logistics, when you're looking at it from a logical aspect, it's quite stupid. And then you got young girls out here sitting up there following the exact same ideals as a lot of these women on social media, still as young girls not really understanding how the world works and who is enabling the inner workings of the world to work the way that it works. It's crazy. Pace said, I agree that men need to take accountability. However, we need women that actually take accountability with foresight and acknowledging their pride. So, no, I don't agree with the type of stuff that is going on. I get what you're saying. But again, um, it's very hard to do any of that. I put it to you like this, right? Let me just highlight this so people can see what I'm responding to, right? I've done a multitude of videos on this platform, um, and I've tried to highlight the issues, right? I as a well, I'm not going to say that I'm black because people don't believe that I'm black. People don't believe that I'm from America. So I'm going to say that as an individual, right, who is able to see certain things out here in certain communities, I do my best to highlight those things, right? So I've highlighted those things to very little success with a lot of pushback. And then I've allowed women of those communities, being more specific, I've showcased videos of black women critiquing other black women and pointing out the issues amongst black women, right? And I did that. I was like, you know what? Maybe, people not going to sit up there and hear it because, maybe I'm not the correct messenger, right? I'm not a woman. So maybe I might not, I shouldn't be the one basically saying it, right? So I'm like, cool, no problem. Let me allow black women to basically speak on the topic, right? And even when you showcase black women, speaking directly, on the topic, then there's still pushback, there's still deflections, there's still problems, people still don't understand, and then people still want to shift the argument over to men. I actually got something sitting in the background right now which fully 100% proves the exact same point that I'm talking about right now. And it's hilarious to literally see all the comments and the justifications for foolishness and people being able to degrade themselves. It's quite hilarious, and it's actually quite sad, all at the same time. But like I said before, there's nothing that you can sit up there and tell individuals out there who are stating that even if you are married, you got women out here that will state that even if they're in a relationship or married, a man has no say so. They have, no type of control. They have no type of input. I can do whatever it is that I want to sit up there and do. Right. So, again, I don't know what to sit up there and tell people no more. I don't. Because the same way that you got women acting right now, they're raising daughters, and their daughters are going to have the exact same mentality. So it's going to be a culture that's going to be raised from the types of ideologies that are made and allowed to be persistent directly out here. This is why I showcased videos before of now where you got female rappers where they want to talk about shooting up ops and they want to start, showing guns directly in videos now. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? I'm like, and the craziest part about this is you have, matter of fact, let me highlight that comment. That's what I'm going to do. It makes it real tough because again, I sat up there and said like, hey, I'm going to try to stay away from certain stuff. Well, at least on this channel, right? Um, let me see. Where's the main one? Let me see. Let me just find the exact comment I want to highlight to y'all. Matter of fact, I just do the tallest one directly out there, right? So you got this comment here, right? And this, let me just take off this, right? So you got this comment here, and this is basically speaking on the music, right? This woman basically said, "This type of music isn't bringing anyone down. This is the same ish they said when rap was formulated. How could something that millions of women feel empowered about uh, bring you down if you can't relate? Keep it pushing. You know what brings us down? Little black babies being found slaughtered, women getting knocked around at the food spot, education being whitewashed, classrooms not being safe, and the cost of living is astronomical. But twerking music is not on any list of anything that matters in the grand scheme of things. People are escaping from a torturous society where they're in a consistent loop of trauma, bonding." Um, Mama, let us throw ass in peace. Let us feel empowered to be bad bitches. Taking charge because in the 80s, we had the music that moved the culture, and we also had the crack epidemic in the 90s. We had the music to move the culture, and we gang wars, early 2000s. I feel like her timeline is a bit off. Maybe it's just me, but one of the greatest periods of our life for music, every genre at this pinnacle, right? And now here we are with fun music while the country is in shambles, everything being repealed, um, appealed, sealed again. In all of those eras, R&B was dominant. So there was an EB and flow. You usually have the R&B girls, the sexy rap girls, and the R&B girls. These girls singing their own damn hooks, which cut out the R&B. It's not collaborative anymore. It's really not you. It's not them. It's legitimate. It's the dynamics. This was just a whole mess of an explanation to basically state if men can, in a sense, do it, why can't we? If men can sit up here and do it, why can't we? And again, as I stated before, you have a lot of these individuals out here who have ideologies who will allow certain negative things out here in society to persist. To persist because they're like, well, it ain't for you, so you know, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Um, let me see if this is the other comment I was looking at. This is a comment I'm not a fan of. Music. Is that the one? Let me see here. Oh yeah. Let me showcase the classic argument. Like I said, sometimes you fall right back into the same thing. It is what it is. It is what it is. Other comments. This there was no problem when women were silent and performing in the background with men or women with the same lyrics, if not worse, about sexual things degrading women and illegal activity. Women are existing in the rap game as they have been, and this is the nail in the coffin on black issues. When we actually have bigger issues, that matter is crazy. Another person agreed, right. It's time for men to shut the hell up and go create better options for the women in the community. Instead, they are competing, comparing, and criticizing women. Again, you're literally seeing women basically state, well, if men can sit up there and do this, then why can't we? If men can sit up there and say derogatory things, if men can sit up there and decide to degrade themselves and degrade this and degrade that, why should it be a problem if we as women want to go out there and do the exact same thing and sit up there and make direct money off of it? There are far more worse problems that need to be talked about in the black community versus what we are doing right now in music. Like, this isn't even really an issue or a problem. Like I said before, people don't understand it up until things hit their front door. And again, that's the main point that I've stated before. And you got a lot of people that want to contribute to the delinquency. Yo, we got Jay in here. Jay Cage. What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is going on? Prey said, you got weirdos saying it's better to have AI. We need to be talking against it, though it doesn't seem like a certain population wants to stop it. Now, as I've stated before, I've gone on a 50-50 argument because I like to look at things as a futurist. I like to go into the Tony Stark way of mind, right? Because I've always loved tech and I love the positive implications of technology, right? Because normally, whenever there's positive stuff, you have those that are empowered that are looking at the negative and the greedy side of technology so that they can do whatever it is that they want to, sit up there and do. Um, the things that I've stated about AI is that at this moment in time, I'm fine with AI. And I'm stating that I'm fine with AI because I'm done with trying to sit up there and say otherwise, right? So, like I told people before, I'm going to let people, in a lack of a better term, I'm going to let people fuck around and find out. So, just like I stated before, in the early 2000s, when they had news reports and they stated to people that, hey, a low percentage of jobs in America have been outsourced overseas, right? That was in the early 2000s. We're in 2023, about to be in 2024. Go look at how many jobs have been outsourced overseas and look at the current state of America at this moment in time when it deals with factory jobs and everything like that. Look at that. Go look at a lot of the states that were normally factory states, factory cities, and look at the mass decline that they have had, both when it comes to the education, both when it comes to the taxes, both when it comes into the residency, both when it comes into the population, both when it comes into jobs leaving those areas and going to other places. And then also look at the increase at the amount of crime that has also taken place due to the fact of a lot of these jobs going directly overseas. But like I said, people want to act like there's no correlation in between having jobs in the area and an influx in crime or a decline in crime. Like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe it's crazy. But like I said before, I'm a futurist when it comes to a lot of these things. I can clearly see the bad implications of a lot of technology at this moment in time. Um, Shout out to her, Muhammad Saad, for the subscription to subscribing to the platform. Um, I've pointed out a lot of the negative implications to technology. I've stated this a multitude of times before. Remember, I'm a tech guy. I state these things. I stated before, anytime you open up and turn on a cell phone, you're not reading through the 49, the 50, the 25, the 150 pages that they have you scroll through. They got those on video games right now. Do you think I'm sitting up there reading all of that? No. Do I understand that it has negative implications? Yes, I do. and I still sit up there and press accept just like everybody else does. Just like whenever we sign up to YouTube and make a Google, we sit up there and accept whatever it is that they have. We're not reading all of that. Whenever we made a YouTube way back in the day, we wasn't reading everything that basically came with having that email. When you made an AOL, when you made a Netscape, when you made a Hotmail, when you made all of these other types of things, whenever you are on social media, they give you documentation to let you know certain things legally. We're not reading all of that stuff. Nobody has. So again, I'm just at a point where it's like it's a whatever for me. It's a whatever. People will sit up there when it starts hitting home, when it starts coming next door, when people got to start going to their local market and they can't go to their local market because they got to specifically download this app. They got to put in their identification. They got to put in their credit card information in order to use their phone as a scanner when they proceed to want to open those clear doors to go into that market so that they can get the food that they need to feed their family. Like I said, people understand when people start sitting up there seeing a lot of these 15-minute cities, people will sit up there and start to understand. So, like I said, I'm at a point where I'm like, I will allow white people, I will allow mainstream media to sit up there and tell people that it's happening. And I ain't gonna waste my breath on it. Because people will sit up there and catch up when they decide to sit up there and catch up. Like I said, some of the stuff I was talking about, I think close to like my first year on YouTube. And you had people still sitting up there trying to say that I was just talking about some sci-fi type stuff. I was talking about stuff that ain't real or whatnot. Hey, here we are. Here we are just in a matter of 4 to 5 years. Here we are. And just imagine what 10 years is going to look like, or just imagine what another 5 years is going to look like. But like I said, people going to sit up there and find out. People going to find out and they'll understand. Timothy said R&B didn't die; it got absorbed into pop music to hide it. Um, Pretty much anything that you can consider black music is everybody else's music. Notice when you look at country, when you think about country, you automatically think about white people. You see white people, they got their Fords, they sitting up there doing some mud trucking or whatnot or whatever. They doing some ATVing. They up there with some Coors Light or whatever it is, out there fishing. They out there at the range, or they out there messing with some bulls. They might be out there square dancing, right? That when you think about country, that's in a sense what you envision, right? You envision their culture, which is cool, no problem. Even though if you want to look at the original aspect of stuff, man, I ain't going that far. But when you think about country initially, you think about their culture, right? When you used to think about rap, you was like, yo, this is black culture. This is black American culture, right? But again, Scarface basically stated to people what? That give it about 15 to 20, 25 years, rap is going to be white. He is correct. Because some of the quote unquote hottest rappers that I've seen come out were those who were not black. They were everything else but. Right? And they were the ones sitting up there moving the culture. They were ones sitting up there having people say and do certain things and all these other type of things. Of course, base wise, it is black. But look at the faces and how everything is getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And it's transforming. So, like I said, I ain't even mad at it because black people allow it. I'm not even mad at it. So if other people start taking over rap, the only way that anybody can take over something that black people have is if black people allow it. And black people are allowing everybody else to basically have a say so and take over rap. So at the end of the day, it's going to be black people's fault. I'm not going to sit up there and blame the industry. I'm not blaming the corporations. I'm not blaming any of that. That's all on black people. Because we do literally have some stuff that we can sit up there and control, but we would rather give up the control and give it to somebody else. And that's what we've been doing, especially with our music, especially with our voices. And then that also ties into the whole fact of AI. We've been doing the same thing when it deals with computers. We've been giving over our information. We've been giving over our faces. We've been giving over our thumbprints. We've been giving over, how our irises, right? Because you got different type of face scanning. You got the full face scan, you got the thumb scan, which is your fingerprint, or you also have the scan of your iris. We've been giving over all of this information to AI for a very long time. And I told people before, the moment of time that you use a lot of those apps where they sit up there and do things to your faces, you're helping to train the AI to basically learn. Every time that we sit up there and type on a computer, we use Google, we use all these search engines, we're sitting up there helping out the AI to be more human, just like us, to make human like decisions, just like us, up until it gets to the point where the AI is basically us. So, like I said before, it is what it is. People are not going to see it as a problem up until they actually see it as a problem. So at this moment in time, nobody really sees AI as a threat. But again, I showed y'all before the hypermarkets. The reason why I wanted to show off the hypermarket is due to the fact that I used to work again at Whole Foods. And the main thing from the head of Whole Foods, at the head of the store at the time, I set up the act. I'm like, so what about these counters or whatnot, these self checkouts? Like, aren't these going to take people's jobs? And she reassured people, like, no, no, it's just a conspiracy. Like, these aren't going to take people's jobs. No, they are. They are. Because at the end of the day, these markets are companies. And in order for them to make more money, there has to be less people actually working there, which means that they don't have to worry about insurance premiums. They don't have to worry about your sick days. They don't have to worry about you being pregnant. They don't have to worry about bereavement or anything like that. They can just cut you out of the scenario and save millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars a year. So when you look at a hypermarket, when you actually go into some of these markets, I think they got one in Texas, maybe, and they got one in New York, whatever. But if you watch some videos and you go through these markets, they probably have about at the most 3 to 4 workers. When you go into your average market, you see tons of workers there. You see people stocking, people working the fish, people working the frozen section, people working specialty, people working dairy, people rotating. You got tons of people working there. Pretty soon you're going to sit up there and go into markets. It's only going to be customers and probably 3 to 4 people there. And none of them are going to specialize in a certain area. It's going to be generalized. But like I said, nobody's going to see it as a problem up until it shows itself as a problem. So again, like I said, this is why I don't really talk that much about stuff. Oh, give me 1 second. All right. So I'm back. This took me a brief little second right there. But yeah, it's like, that's like I said, that's the main problem. That is the main problem. Ms. Durant said you was telling the truth since I came to your channel and never left your channel. I was always here ever since then. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Like I said, I know. Like I said, a lot of y'all names I know. I know. It's like I seen y'all here for a minute. Yo, we got Nook in the building. What is going on, brother? What is happening in the streets? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? J. Cage said, realistically, I just want to call this man Johnny Cage. Every time I see his name, it's like I stumble because I want to say Johnny Cage, but I'm like J. Cage. J.K. said, I actually think he was the first one to inform everyone on the changes on their Google account. You know what? I say it's possible. That's the most I say. Because again, I don't be really trying to look at everybody else's like stuff and whatnot or whatever. I try my best to just stay to my own business and try to read up So sometimes I'll miss stuff, sometimes I won't, or whatnot or whatever. But like I said, I try to inform people of stuff. I try my best. Praise said, I didn't even know this 8 years ago, barely 3 or 4 years ago, and the self checkout took people's jobs already. Walmart has only two cashiers. Like I said, the stuff that I try to, at least talk about, I've at least like experienced like some of the stuff here. So when it dealt with like the self checkout, when it deals with like markets and stuff, like I worked there for like 4 years. So I saw some of these changes already being implemented before it was at like a lot of these other spots. So it's like I already knew what was going to happen because again, I'm a tech guy. I know what computers and AI is do. It's used to make the jobs of human beings easier, right? The simplest task that a human would normally get paid for, you're just going to sit up there and have AI sit up there and do it, which means that would force two things that are going to sit up there and happen. Realistically, it should force human beings to want to be more creative. It should force human beings to want to be better so that they can go after better jobs. But what inevitably ends up happening is that you have people that are left behind because there is not a specific education or a course out there that will pick those people up and put them on the fastest road possible to basically make it to that next thing. So inevitably, when it deals with technology upgrading or outpacing human beings, you're going to inevitably have humans that are going to be left behind because they're not going to be able to catch up. And it's not because, and I'm just going to state this now, it's not going to be because people just don't want to. It's that they don't, in a sense, have the ability to because they lack the understanding, right? So for the kids that are being raised right now with technology, they're going to, in a sense, start to outpace a lot of the older generation when it deals with jobs because they're basically born in a lot of this tech now. Just like for a lot of the kids that were born from in the 90s, the 2000s, that era, we're going to be outpacing a lot of our elders when it deals with jobs and technology and different things of that nature because mentally we have a different understanding. We can grasp it differently, right? And this is the way that is going to keep, in a sense, going. Every so often, a generation is going to start to get, left behind, and it's going to just basically keep growing, and it's going to keep outpacing, right? Um, what was it? Latif Edwards, what is up? What is up? Said that the first AI in everything is coming soon. Oh yeah, I think I showcased, was it Proteus? I forgot. So okay, so there's I'm just gonna re-go over it because I think I might have only talked about it once. I think it was called Proteus or something like that. There's going to be this 3D hologram tech. I think I actually showcased it in a live stream, but I can't even remember the live stream that I showcased it on because I do a lot of show off a lot of stuff in different live streams. But there is this tech that's going to be coming where, let's say, if you wanted to see or meet your favorite celebrity, right, or you wanted to be at a concert but you really couldn't make it, they're going to have 3D tech where I think it costs about was it about like 50? I think I put it at a modest, at a minimum 100 and upwards to maybe about like 700 and something K. Right? There's going to be like this 3D virtual, reality, type of tech, hologram tech, where let's say if you wanted to meet your favorite celebrity, you could basically have this box in your home. So in order to meet your celebrity, let's say you had to have like an MVP pass or whatever it is, the celebrity is basically in your home. So in this box, you have this hologram version of the celebrity. It's technically it's them. They could be either in their home or they could be at a concert, backstage, whatever it is. But you can basically have access to that celebrity. Or if you needed to talk to a family member, let's say like you're in America and the other person is in Japan, then you would basically, dial up on his box, do 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 do, and then the other person on the other side would basically get in position, and you would start your conversation. So it's almost as if they are literally in your home without them actually physically being in your home. And they also, instead of having a larger one, they have portable ones that you can put directly on the desk. Like I said, just recently they had a concert where Drake was coming out on stage, and the younger version of him handed the quote unquote real version of Drake a book, and he opened up the book and he read from it. There was another video that I showcased to y'all before where at a stadium you saw whales and dolphins and sea creatures basically floating directly through the air, and these were holograms, but they looked real. So, like I said, tech is pretty nifty. There's a lot of things, out there dealing with tech. Uh, Let me see. Yeah. Just went to Walmart the other day and no cashiers, just self checkout. Yeah. I've gone to Walmart quite a few times, and a lot of the lines are typically closed. They might have like one to two, and you will see people literally go to those lines. I'm like, ain't that something? Because the funniest thing is, regardless on how much people like to complain about human interaction, dealing with the cash registers, dealing with cashiers, a lot of people don't like dealing with computers, and it shows. You got some people that'll use the self checkout, but then you'll still have long lines when it deals with the cashiers. But I'm like, realistically, the self checkout is actually quicker. But like I told y'all before, when it dealt with the stories, when it dealt like with Walmart closing down and talking about theft, Walmart is allowing people to do the self checkout because they expect to know that a lot of people are going to steal. They know that they have shoplifters there. So, what makes it easier for a shoplifter to steal? Guess what? You're dealing with computers. You're dealing with yourself and computers, which means it is a self checkout. But unbeknownst to a lot of people, which people don't pay attention to because people think that they are way too smart, if you look up above the self checkout, the next time y'all go to Walmart, look at the self checkout and look at the 20 to 30 to 40 cameras that they got above that self checkout, looking at every single angle. Walmart is allowing people to do that self checkout because they're betting that you're going to steal. They're betting that you feel that you can outsmart the system. Just like when people go to a casino, they think that they can beat the system. They think that they can beat the house. The house always wins. The way that Walmart is winning is due to the fact that they are keeping tabs on the amount of products that you mysteriously forget to actually check. So once it gets to a certain amount, they're going to call the boys on you, and they're going to have all the receipts to show that, you got $200+ worth of stuff over time that you've basically stolen from the store. We got the people for you. Like I said, I did a story on that. And people, like I said, people are not going to understand. People are not going to understand. Like I said, the way that they're going to start trying to throw people in jail now. Ooh, you thought it was something when they were trying to set people up with drugs? Ooh, just wait. Ooh, it's going to be beautiful. Like I said, Walmart is already showing you. And it's going to get even better. Because remember, I told y'all before, those supermarkets, they don't really got a lot of employees. They got basically the cash registers. I'm not the cash registers. Well, yeah, actually, yeah. So the way that the supermarkets work, when you because Kroger's is doing it in a few different places, right? If you happen to live down south or Midwest, you know what Kroger's is, right? So when you go to some of these markets, they have these shopping carts that basically have computers built in, and it has a weighted scale. So when you throw stuff directly in the cart, it starts to automatically account for everything, right? But they're just doing it that way, right? I think it might have a credit card thing directly in there. I'm not sure. But when you deal with Amazon, they upgraded that. They're like, okay, well, y'all doing that simple stuff. We already been through that. Amazon's carts with Amazon's hypermarket, their carts basically work the same exact way. The only difference is you're registered as soon as you basically walk in and you basically have your cart. It already has, the information. You dial it in or whatever it is. Everything is a go. So you go through and it automatically starts itemizing, and it starts tallying up whatever it is that you buy or whatever it is that you take out. So by the time you reach the end, you already paid for everything. The only thing that happens is that you got somebody at the door just basically marking off and checking your receipt, and that's it. It's that simple. There is no cash register that you have to sit up there and deal with. There is no cashier that you have to sit up there and deal with either. Everything is 100% on you. So if you decide that you want to be slick and you want to try to steal something, good luck, because they got cameras for that. So like I said, they're going to find other ways to sit up there and fill up those prisons and put people directly in jail. And I'm pretty sure, like I told y'all before, lawmakers and corporations are both in bed together. So if corporations wanted to sit up there and start pressing harsher laws on thieves, they could easily get that done, especially somebody like Amazon that got trillions of dollars. They got long money. They got Saturn, Jupiter money. That money stretched far beyond the eye, beyond the imagination. So if they wanted to get some laws passed to make sure that if you stole from their stores, that you were going to have like a nice little stay in prison or jail, they can do it. But like I said, people are not going to understand it up until it actually happens. People ain't going to understand it. James and Iris, what is up? What is up? What is up? Said that the FDA approved lab-grown chicken meat. Look up the movie Salient Green. I've talked about that movie pretty often on this channel, and I've talked about what is it? What is it? What's the name of it? Was it Pacific Sky? Atlas. What is it? Cloud Atlas. Yeah. If you look up a movie named Cloud Atlas, right? Solvent Green is an older movie. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not even going to look it up because a lot of people don't really like watching older movies. So I would tell people to look up Cloud Atlas, which was with Tom Hanks and Halle Berry. There's a specific scene in Cloud Atlas where it's futuristic and you see this hotel that is feeding all of these people. And long story short, the people, what people are being fed is basically cloned humans. So they're basically telling you that, yo, we don't really have the type of things out here to sustain, what it is that people normally eat. So we had to sit up there and come up with an easier way to sit up there and make this meat. So they clone the waitresses and the workers that are there in this large factory in the back of the hotel where nobody can see it. And then they sit up there and do what they normally do with cattle. And then they cook it and then they serve it and all this other type of stuff. And some people, they may know that they're eating that at the hotel, but a lot of people don't know. But the interesting thing about this, James, is the fact that we've been eating cloned meat when it came to like fish and everything else for a long time. They've just now decided to actually state to people that, hey, legally we can actually tell you that we have this, but no, they've been feeding this to the public. This stuff has been directly out there for a very long time. Like I said, in order for them to know that stuff works and that it is what it is, they're going to do test trials on human subjects unwillingly. So, it is what it is. You got a lot of people that have been talking about that we've been eating cloned meat for a very long time and all these other types of things. But people, in a sense, didn't want to listen. They had to wait for mainstream media to sit up there and tell them. That's the only way that people actually believe that it's a plausible thing, that it's a realistic thing. So, yo, David, what is up, David? What is up? What is up? What is up? David said, start replacing your meat with lion's mane mushrooms. Jackfruit is actually, I've been looking at jackfruit. Jackfruit look pretty nifty. I done seen some people, chef some stuff up with some jackfruit. And I'm like, yo, that looks like pulled pork. I'm like, that's crazy. They put all the seasonings and everything. I really wanted to sit up there and try when I saw people, doing it because it looked good. Like I said, I am not against sitting up there trying, something that's different. And like I said, it's healthy, right? So, hey, you never know. You never know. James said mushroom has the same texture as meat. Yeah. Yep. Yes, indeed. Uh, Latif said UBI, Universal Basic Income. Hey, you know, the main thing that I've understood, even in a lot of the animes and the shows that I've watched, even in real life society, in order for any of these things to be implemented, something drastic has to happen in society. Something like remember, case in point, everybody should remember 9/11. When 9/11 happened, what did everybody tell you? Oh, the real enemy is these people over here. But then what did they also tell you? We're facing an enemy that is faceless. What? How do you at one point tell people these are what the enemy looks like, and then you turn around and state that we're fighting a war against a faceless enemy? So wouldn't that, in a sense, actually mean that we're fighting a war with ourselves too? Because we don't know who the enemy is, and 9 times out of 10, the enemy is not really on the outside, but the enemy is actually on the inside. But like I said, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm too conspiracy, and I got too many tin hats. I got the aliens reading my brain waves, and I'm getting hijacked by Wi-Fi or something. I'm just crazy out here. Tia said we saw how AI can be hacked during a medical procedure. Yep. Yes, indeed. And then when the funniest thing is, you got a lot of these cars that are also moving more so towards heavy electric and heavy electric security and everything like that. I literally saw a group of guys have a small device, a device reader, that basically went through the number codes within a matter of seconds, and they were sitting up there stealing cars without having an alarm go off. So, what the other thing that I'm trying to point out to people again, I'm a person that sees the positive and whatnot within technology, even when it deals with electric, right? I told y'all before as a slight, just something to put out there. I highlighted the fact that you had the administration of now wanting to basically get rid of gas stoves, and they wanted to put in and start inserting all electric. So let me just reiterate to people, just in case people might not understand or maybe have not been through like a natural disaster or anything like that. If your power ever goes out, the gas always works because it's something completely separate. Your whole house cannot have power, but you will still have gas come to the house, which means that if you went through a power outage or whatnot or whatever, you could turn on a gas stove, light a piece of paper, and you got fire. Which means that you're still able to cook. You're still able to boil water. You can still do some things that you need to sit up there and do that you might not be able to do because the power is out because everything else ain't working. And you're still able to put heat directly in your house. If you have an electric stove directly in your house and the power goes out, so does that stove. So that means for those who are in New York, where the government is trying to install a lot of these electric stoves and they're trying to do this by a certain amount of time, that means that if there is any type of crisis or crises that take place in New York, that people without power are going to be also without a way to heat their homes. They're also going to be without a way to cook or also boil their water if there is a water advisory in effect. So I'm trying to sit up there and show y'all that the government has their own best interest at foot whenever it is that they do a lot of these things. They're not doing this for the best interest of the people. Oh yeah, we're going to sit up there. They stated that they're trying to get rid of gas stoves due to the fact that it's affecting climate change or global, whatever they want to call it out, climate change, global warming, whatever it is, whatever name that they wanted to put it to. That's what they're saying that gas stoves attribute to. And I'm like, really? But don't we still use coal in certain places around America? Don't certain places around the world still use coal and everything like that? So shouldn't we be replacing everything then? Because it would, in a sense, heighten the amount of carbon and all these other types of things and yada yada yada. But no, that's not what they're trying to do. because again, this stuff is about control. But a lot of people don't understand and happen to see that up until it actually happens. Up until that crisis and those things actually are there, that's the main time that people are gonna be like, uh-oh, what did we do? They got us. And yeah, they do got you. So then when they start making these fully electric cars and they really trying to push these, because if you look around the world, certain areas are really trying to push these electric cars and they're trying to have these in by 2025, 2030. Well, that's going to be pretty much the market. Again, if the power goes out, what's going to happen to your car? You're only going to have a certain amount of charge directly on it. You're only going to have a certain amount of charge. And then that's not also to mention the systems that are running that car. Because a lot of those systems are going to be hooked up to another system that is AI driven, but it can still be controlled by another human being. So they have cars in certain areas. Like you can go look at China. They have certain things there where if they need to take or move somebody's car, they got these little street drones that can go to a car and they can lift the car up and automatically move it. So that means if anybody is late on their payments, depending on what type of car it is, the car can drive itself right back to the dealer. You don't have no car no more. They can have the little AI drones like, oh, that's the car right there. They thought they was getting away. Let's put these drones on it real quick. Bow bow. And the car is automatically driving itself back with very little assistance. So again, I try to tell people like, hey, you should prepare. You should take certain precautions, because they sit up there, they tell y'all stuff all the time in the media. They was like, yeah, we expect the internet to go out. Yeah, we expect the electricity to go out. Yeah, we expect the grid to go out. So they're telling you. They're repeatedly telling you all throughout the media, every now and again, giving you little bits, giving you little cookie crumbs up until magically it happens. Now, are we going to sit up there and say that, oh, yeah, this was just like an attack that happened? Or are we going to sit up there and say that this was something that was actually planned? But like I said, that's up to other people to basically figure out. Because, again, I'm not the one that's trying to sit up there and force people to believe in whatever it is that I'm basically stating. All I expect people to do is to look up the information and gather that stuff directly for themselves so that they can obtain the knowledge that they need in order to make the right decision. Right? I'm just a talking head on YouTube. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm too far in conspiracies. Right? You got aliens walking around. You got portals sitting up there opening up. You got interstellar objects entering in from outside of the solar system that people, don't even know what the hell is going on. You still got the Antarctic Treaty going on where, you can't sit up there and fly over or go specifically to Antarctica without, specifying your business. Like, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm too far into conspiracy. Pray said, be easy. Good, bro. I'm going to a Sabbath stream. All praise to the Most High. Stay well, stay safe. P.S. I've seen the discuss in the text for a while ago. That's absurd. Much love, respect, and appreciation, and enjoy that stream. Timothy said, yeah, I have become so creative. I've just given up trying to borrow from Walmart. James and Iris said, in the past, large populations died from disease. We are finding cases of malaria, measles, and other diseases that are making a comeback. The reason why they're making a comeback, because remember, quite a bit of this stuff was actually gone, and in some instances, it was like eradicated, right? And I could have sworn not too long ago, I think I might have did a video about a slight resurgence of polio. We eradicated polio. If people don't, there was also something that was created during that time, but I ain't gonna get into that because that's conspiracy. But somebody could correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. We eradicated polio at a point in time, right? And then magically they were talking about a resurgence of polio. How? If we literally eradicated some, how did it come back unless people are playing? unless people are going around playing with some stuff, doing stuff that they ain't supposed to be doing. That's like sitting up there saying, like, yeah, the dinosaurs have been extinct for like 100 million years, and then I see a pterodactyl in the sky. What we doing? How that happened? We got dinosaurs that's been gone for 200 million years, but there's a woolly mammoth somewhere, on one of these continents. How did he get there? How do we got a population of woolly? What's going on? What are y'all doing? Like I said, it's beyond the island of Dr. Moreau. Tia said Kroger self checkout and a pre-pandemic that had handlers scanners, so you were just at the register. Yep. Prey said Kroger means Kruger, if I'm not mistaken. I don't trust none of this, and I don't consent. We need to dip. The problem. I get what you're saying. The problem is with the I need to dip part. Where you gonna run to? Because no matter where and this is the main thing I told black people before. You can run from the hood, you can run from the problems of the inner city, but those problems are soon enough going to sit up there and catch up with you, and they're going to be right there next door to you. So then what you going to do? You going to run back to the exact same hood that you ran from? You can't keep running forever. There is barely a place on this planet that you can run to that technology is not there. And if you can run to a place where technology is not there, are you able and knowledgeable to survive without that technology? Because we've had technology for oh so long that we are pretty much it's a necessity. Nobody knows how to train pigeons to send messages. Nobody does carrier pigeons. People don't even write letters no more. A lot of people don't know how to sit up there and sail on a boat, how to build a boat. So it's like dipping is one thing, but having the knowledge in order to properly carry yourself or a group of people, you need that. So it's like I said, it's hard to sit up there and say this is why you don't really, in a sense, hear me say that, people need to sit up there and leave, people need to do this, people need to do that. Because it's like, how am I going to sit up there and realistically say that people need to leave when the people leaving don't know how to properly take care of themselves without technology? A lot of people don't even know nothing about a farm or how to grow. A lot of people don't know nothing about irrigation or agriculture or anything at all. A lot of people don't even have a green thumb. Some people out here can't even take care of a cactus. So how would a lot of people be able to go somewhere that lacks technology? And the other thing I want to make very, very specific, they have Wi-Fi in the Amazon, just to let you know. In some of the deepest reaches of the Amazon, you got Wi-Fi reception. So again, it's going to be very tough to run from technology, to run from everything that is basically taking place, because it's going to be only a matter of time before it hits. And then what? How are you going to defend yourself? Because all you did is basically run from the situation. You ain't learned nothing about the situation. You ain't learned how to disable it, how to take it down, how to adapt to it. But it knows how to adapt to you. It knows how to take you down. It knows how to read you. It knows how you're going to think. It knows all of your move 1,000 steps ahead of you. So, I'm just stating. Just stating. Not for it. Again, I was replying to Pray, and I just want to state this. What I'm stating is not for an argument sense, right? It is basically stating the main thing of, if you basically move to another place to alleviate yourself of this problem, then what are you going to do if that problem comes right back and it's at the area that you just moved to, that you thought that you were safe at, right? T said Kroger has handheld scanners pre-pandemic, so you could pay and bag and register. Right. Tia said I seen Soylent Green. Soylent Green was a mother. Yeah. Yo, we got Gregory Van in the building. What is up? Latif said Impossible Burger. Yeah, the impossible part is I don't know what's in that burger. That's the thing. If this is where I'm at. If like when it comes to like beef and stuff like that, all right, I see something, right? Again, I worked in the market. I see how they prepare like the burgers and the meat and how they grind stuff up and whatnot. So I got a little bit of an understanding. So it's like I got a little bit of comfortability in certain things, right? The Impossible Burger, I'm not really seeing how they making that. I don't know any market that I can go to where I'm literally watching the process of an Impossible Burger being built. Like in my mind, I'm like, all right, so you're gonna take this plant, you're gonna basically mash this together along with some other plants, thicken that up with, maybe some actual, some natural stuff or whatnot for some fillers, and then you're gonna throw some spices and some taste of some salt directly in there, along with some coloring, to basically give it a certain type of a meat appearance, and then you're gonna cook it and maybe season it again, and wow, there's a burger. In my mind, that's how I'm thinking about it. But when you sit up there and look at the ingredients, and it's like a paragraph to about like 3 pages, I'm like, yeah, this really is impossible because I don't know how y'all made this. Because this is literally a science fair project, and I don't know how to pronounce any of these things. What are these chemicals again? Hydrochloro, whoopee, what? It's like, what are we doing right now? James Ivis said, in the news, a man that was growing his own crops, someone came along and poisoned his plants. Oh, you don't know who that be? That be like Monsanto. And the reason why I say that, if you look at they got a documentary dealing with the farmers and it deals with Monsanto. So if you happen to look at that documentary, it'll tell you a lot. And the other thing that I want people to also know is that it's going to get to a point where they're going to make it illegal. Just okay. So in the United States, you got certain states that state that it is illegal for you to collect natural rainwater, right? And they've had that for years. They also had something recently, which I tried to tell people about before, where they had the Anti-Hoarding Act, right? Which it was like basically you can't have food that can last you past 30 days, right? Which is the craziest thing if you think about it, right? They don't want you to hold food that can last you past 30 days. Why is that, right? And it's going to get to the point where they're going to start telling people that, yo, we're going to deem it illegal for you to be able to grow your own food. In certain places, they tell you that it's like, yeah, we don't want you having a garden here. We don't want you doing this. We don't. They'll tell you that. But soon enough, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be widespread out there in the open, where it's like, yeah, it's pretty much illegal for you to grow your own vegetation. And they're going to be like, well, we don't want you doing it because, bugs, rodents, insects, you guys don't really have the properness, things to really do it. And then you're dealing with soil that could be near cars or different things of that nature, which can seep directly into the vegetation and it can poison it and different things. They're going to make up so many things to state for the reason why it is that they don't want you growing your own stuff. It's going to be unbelievable. But the funniest thing is that you're going to have a lot of people taking in every single thing that the government tells them. They're like, you know what, they're right. They're right. We have no way to regulate this. What if somebody, grows their own vegetables and then, it was next to a car or, next to a body and, the body started, deteriorating and then that seeped directly into the food and then that food is basically infected by the body and then you serve that to a person. So now that infected food is going to affect somebody, actual living person, and then that can sit up there and grow into a disease and now it's uncontrollable. And now, they're going to start doing that. So again, we have people out here that disagree with what it is that is taking place, but you have even more people that are completely fine with giving over their freedoms and their rights because they would rather be controlled. I just want people to pay attention. And then the funniest thing is, a lot of these people are going to be a lot of your neighbors. They're going to be a lot of your families that will sit up there and snitch and turn you in. There's going to be a point in time where they'll start to offer rewards for people who might not have done or what the government wanted them to do. So if the government wants you to go to CVS for a specific reason and you don't go to CVS, they'll be like, we have this anonymous hotline and we will pay you anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 if you give us a great tip on an individual that did not do what it is that we specifically specified or told people that they should be doing. You're going to see a lot of people getting turned in. Like I said, you saw a little bit of this during the main 2 years. People just forgot. Like I said, I showcased videos of stuff that was happening in other countries. People ain't want to sit up there and pay attention. So again, it is going to be it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be real interesting. Timothy said they wanted to replace everything like that to track the people. Vacuums connect to servers now. Yeah. You got vacuums that connect to servers, but the biggest problem, well, I'm not going to say the biggest problem. The funniest thing is a lot of these servers are not even in America. And then on top of that, you got, voice activation and all this other type of stuff. But the thing you got to look at is the fact that if you don't know who controls the servers, right? So you're connecting your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is connected directly to your computer or your cell phone or your tablet or what have you. All of those devices are also connected to your personal information, such as your social media, such as your banking, your checking, such as everything else that you sit up there and use, your Amazon and all this other type of stuff. Who's to say that a hacker doesn't get in contact with those servers to basically pull all of your information? That's easy access. There is no security for any of those devices, meaning a vacuum cleaner being in your house, having a connection. And I want people to also note that a lot of these devices that they are going to have Wi-Fi, that's Wi-Fi connected, they're going to have some internal batteries that will be able to work for a pretty significant amount of time during the duration of the vacuum's lifetime. And as long as whenever you happen to plug it up, it'll, rejuice up that battery. So to help it stay, active, to help it stay closer to that 90 or that 10%. Trust me, they got batteries out here that can sit up there and that can last for about a good week on a charge. Like I said, there's a cell phone that I like that I've been looking at, and the life of the battery on one charge is about a good week. Some people don't even know what that is because they up there recharging their cell phone every single day, periodically throughout the hours of the day, recharging your cell phone because the battery is consistently down. But like I said, they got technology out here. They done showed off some of this technology on Shark Tank. They showed off some of this technology. It was if I remember correctly, it was an Indian girl that sat up there and won some type of, it wasn't like a fair, but she won a competition because she came up with a strip that basically helped the longevity and the charging of a battery. And it went directly on cell phones. And I think it could also go on other things as well. But like I said, there's a lot of technology that is directly out there. People just ain't sitting up there paying attention to it. Mr. Man said, hi, I'm new. What is up? And welcome to the platform. Much appreciation. Not sure how you found this channel, but I am happy that you are here. Hopefully you will enjoy your stay along with some of the live streams that are directly up there. Maybe you'll be able to grab some type of information, look up some stuff for yourself, and you'll learn something new. DC Precise said, not going to stop their private jets and gas in their mansions, though. You will own nothing and be happy. That is 1,000% correct. Like I said, that's why I like the movie Elysium. It was roughly the exact same thing. The people on Earth didn't own anything, and all the rich and the elites were living on a citadel above the planet, making all of the rules and the regulations, while everybody lived in death and famine and disease, with a lack of water directly on the planet. And the rich and the elite were able to live past normal human lives because they had a machine called the Medusa, which could pretty much, get rid of any disease. It can pretty much cure everything. You got broken bones, it's curing that. You got a genetic defect, it's curing that. You got a problem with your heart, it's curing that. You want to sit up there and pull back on aging, it's doing that. You know. So basically, you said I only got until 2025 to learn how to ride a horse and buy a horse. No, you got time. You got time. You got a lot of time to sit up there and do stuff. The only thing I basically happen to state to people is, that don't take too much time to try to figure things out. If you want to learn how to ride a horse and buy a horse and have land and property, you try to figure that out as soon as possible. Try to figure that out as soon as possible so that you can be ahead of the curve. One of the brothers that I got up here, which is Cricket Farms, he got his own farm for him and his family. They grow their own eggs. They also sell them directly on market and everything of that nature, along with some of the vegetables and everything else that they happen to go grow there, along with butter. I think, do they got like goat butter? I think they do. They got a multitude of different things that they sell specifically from the farm that is made on the farm, right? That they raised and had a hand in and everything like that. So, again, that's one of the main things I try to showcase to people. I try to showcase that you got people out here, living a whole different way of life away from, the city and everything like that. Learning agriculture skills and different things of that nature. So, again, you got time. You got time, but don't sit up there and think it's infinite. That's the only thing I'm sitting up there saying, because that's how a lot of people are going to get caught. Um, Tia said Melfar. Oh yeah, Melfar to the rescue. Yeah, that was the dude right there. Used to come in. He had the classic suit on. He had the red cape. That's the guy right there. Like I said, it only people from Detroit know who Melfar is. Only people from Detroit know who Melfar is. Tia said Melfar in Detroit used to have a shut off on the gas powered cars when people avoided repo or too many non payments. Wow, I didn't even know that. That's that man was ahead of the curve right there. Yo, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. That is crazy. Wow, learn something new. Mystery Man said a Harvard professor found alien technology in the ocean. The funniest thing is, the main thing I'll tell people is this. There's a specific reason why it is that we know more about the solar system. We know more about Mars and all of these other planets, supergiants, the sun, the asteroid belt. We know everything about space, but we know very little about Antarctica. We know very little about the Grand Canyon. We know very little about the ocean seafloor. There are very specific reasons on why it is. Science will have you looking up at the sky, but you should be really looking at the place where you live and where you grow up. Why is it that science spends all their time looking at space, trying to inform and tell people about space, but yet they can't tell you what's clear cut in the ocean? Every single time they do a documentary or whatever it is, oh, we found this new species down in the ocean. Oh, we found this deeper chasm than the Mariana Trench down there in the ocean. We found this in the ocean. It's always a new discovery. Every single time. And then they sit up there and give you these stories and these movies. They're like, they always give you first. Remember, they moved from Jaws, right? They moved away from the Great White. That was the main thing that scared people in the 70s, right? They people was like, yeah, this Great White and all this other type of stuff. But then when you sit up there and realistically look at it, sharks be getting killed by orcas. Orcas go directly after sharks. I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't happen to know that, but yeah, sharks get hunted too. They get hunted. We're scared of sharks, but realistically, you should be scared of Free Willy. That's who you should be scared of. That's who you should be scared of. And also, dolphins ain't no joke either. They might be the clowns of the sea, but they are killers. Dolphins are not a joke. They will break bones. They will use certain types of sounds to disorientate their prey and different. Like I said, when you start learning some different things about animals, these animals of the sea are not stupid. They are not stupid. So for a lot of the people out there that go out there and talk about sea life and stuff, they don't really know what they're dealing with. Because like I told people before, the moment in time that you look down in the water, always note that there's something looking back at you. You just don't know it. So if you might be in a boat in the ocean or what have you, you look down there, there is something looking right back at you. So I'm just saying, when they sitting up there giving you these stories, and they talking about the megalodon, they talking about this, they talking about that, you might want to sit up there and pay attention to what it is that they're sitting up there stating. Because remember, the sea floor has not been covered. We have not sent. We got all of this AI and all this computer technology, but they have not scoured all over the Pacific Rim. They have not done that. You still got volcanoes right now that are deep sea that scientists don't know nothing about. You got islands that are growing right now that are on the sea floor, slowly rising, that scientists don't know nothing about. But they're there. Because everything is consistently shifting, consistently moving. Things are consistently breaking down. Things are consistently growing. But like I said, they got everybody looking up for a reason. And that's the main thing that people got to pay attention to. Why is it that the media, why is it that scientists always got people looking up? Why don't they have people looking down at the ground? Looking at the sea floor, looking at the ground. How many stories have you basically seen over the years where these magic gigantic sinkholes have basically showed up and they start basically trying to envelop people's houses, golf courses, and all these other types of things? And we normally didn't have things like this sitting up there transpiring. It was every once in a blue moon you might sit up there and have something take place. But now it's way more frequent. How is it possible that you got a lot of places that have basically been burned down to a cinder? I'm talking about you in California. You got houses that got burned down, but yet the trees around the houses on the outside of the house has never been touched. That's not how fire works. But like I said, they got you looking up. They got you trying to ponder and figure out stuff up there, and you can't even go up there. That don't even make sense. You can go in the ocean if you want to. Can't nobody stop you from going in the ocean. If anybody wants to jump in the ocean right now, you can go there. But they don't got you looking down there. They can sit up there and track a shark and note that this great large shark that had this tracker on it magically was accelerating beyond the depths of which you would normally find sharks. And this was a large shark, which means that there was something larger than that shark directly down there. And it's like I said, it's a lot of stuff taking place, and it's a lot of stuff happening. And it's a lot of stuff that ain't making sense. Scientists can sit up there and put tabs on animals and know exactly where they are, but magically, when it comes to a submarine, they automatically lose it for quote unquote 5 days, even though they specifically knew what happened to it on the day that the submarine went down. Craziness. Distractions all around. Distractions. Mr. Man said birds are descendants from dinosaurs. I've heard that before. Heard that. Timothy said Ghost in the Shell, The Last of Us, Resident Evil, Independence Day is our near future. Get your body and your arsenal up if you plan. You know, the funniest thing is, since you wanted to bring up like Resident Evil, I did a video before where they talked about the deer zombie virus. I'm not sure if people remember that, but they had a zombie virus in deers, and then the media was really trying to put up stories of humans being zombies, like popping up. They would sit up there and tell you about certain drugs or whatever it is that would basically, I think, what was it, like bath salts or like K2 or whatever it is. It would basically zombify people. They were in a sense like walking zombies and different things like that. Yeah, like I said, they're telling people certain stuff. They're getting people conditioned for certain things. If I remember correctly, The Last of Us, those are dealing with spores, right? Or in a sense, like some type of fungus. If you look at the insect world, they have certain types of funguses that will zombify its host. And if you look at was it The Last of Us that I'm thinking about? Or was it another one? Or was it another show? I think, yeah, it should have been like The Last of Us, right? So in The Last of Us, if I remember correctly, in one of the shows, or it might have been the game, or some game, right? I'll just say it was some game, right? There was a game that basically dealt with like zombies or whatnot, right? So there's a fungus out there that basically infects the host, the insects, and what it basically does is that it puts the host in this trance, and it makes them go up to, let's say, like the highest point of a tree, right? They're not going for it. It don't matter if the host is hungry. It don't matter if the host is thirsty. The fungus will force the host. It will infect the whole body. The nervous system and everything. It is holed up in the brain, and it'll force the host to go to the highest point. So let's say the tree is the highest point, right? It'll go to the highest point of the tree, and then once that happens, it'll force the host to basically, with every single little bit of energy, to basically grip onto that tree, and then it'll pretty much kill that host. So then after that pretty much happens, the fungus will start to spread from the inside of the host to the outside of the host. So then, since it's at the highest point, that means that now the spores can now be dispersed in the air, right? Nothing is stopping it from moving to wherever it wants to sit up there and move to start the whole process basically over. And you have similar things happen like that in The Last of Us, where the human population that's not infected, they have to, whenever the spores, or it's a spore area, they have to put on a mask so that they don't inhale those spores, so that they don't become infected. So, again, when you look at a lot of these things, you can see certain similarities to the real world. Like when you look at the first Resident Evil movie, where they were in this lab and somebody dropped the virus, they dropped the vial that had the T virus, and it basically cracked. And then after that, it escaped through the ventilation. You can pretty much look at the CDC, right? The CDC has some of the world's most dangerous viruses. And in some cases, if you actually read up on a lot of the stuff and on experiments that scientists have been doing, they've been trying to actually realive some viruses that have either laid dormant or that have been dead for a very long time. You have to ask yourself, why is it that if something was dormant, it's not bothering, it's not doing nothing, why would scientists want to bring it back to life? You don't have a cure or anything for it. Why would you want to mess with something that ain't messing with no? Obviously, it's dormant for a reason. Obviously, it was laying inert for a reason. It ain't doing nothing. But you want to sit up there and bring it back to life. For what? And then when you sit up there and go through and you look at a lot of the patents that scientists have on a lot of different diseases, you'll figure out, you'll start putting two to two together. You will start putting two to two together. You'll start finding a lot of stuff out when you start going through researching a lot of stuff. And like I said, a lot of the stuff that they do is out there in the open. So it's not like they hiding it. They telling you what it is. So they can't be at fault for if something does happen just randomly. Like, remember, what did the government sit up there and tell us? That we need to plan for pandemics. Huh? Huh? How do y'all know that how do y'all know that other pandemics are coming? Wait a minute, what's happening? What's happening? What's going on? What's going on? Like I said, nobody questions any of the stuff that they have, and they say this stuff openly in speeches to the masses. It ain't nobody paying attention when they telling you that, yo, we need to start planning for pandemics. That's plural. That means more than one. That means multiple, back to back to back to back. Reruns. That's crazy. I'm just a conspiracy theorist. I'm sorry. Timothy says, I stopped doubting everything once they created video game technology in real life. Hey, video game technology, it is what it is, man. It's entertainment purposes so that we can escape reality and go into a whole nother world. They showed you that in the Matrix. You saw Neo wake up in the real world, and then he jacked himself back in to go back into the Matrix. because what he saw was not what he wanted to sit up there and deal with. It was nothing that he could sit up there and do. He was up. That's all right. Let me jack myself back in. I'm good. My bad. I ain't mean to wake up. My apologies. Right? That's like I said, you got Sword Art Online. You got a multitude of other animes that basically show people this. You got I showcased that story to y'all before, where you got the person who made the Oculus Rift. He made a real life device where if you play the video game, and if you for lack of a better word, if you don't make it in the video game, you don't make it in real life. And that's a real device that he made. That's crazy. So again, this is why I sit up there and tell people, yo, you gotta be, the future is gonna be a very different thing, because you don't know who's creating this technology, what they're using it for, what the plans are. You don't know what hidden things that they got in these technology. You ain't gonna know up until you know. Um, Timothy said, my thing about the Impossible Whopper is that if it's all plants, why can't I get a cold cut Whopper? I mean, yeah, that's true. James Ivers says spam can last forever. Yeah, I believe it. I think some a YouTuber got like a video where he goes over like old rations. Old I think, what is it called, like M3 or MR rations from like the army and stuff like that. Like, yeah, some of that stuff be lasting a long time. It's crazy. Like when the government, when science is actually put to a task to make sure that they actually make something that's supposed to do what it's supposed to do, oh, they can do anything. They can literally do anything. But when it's to basically like bullshit the public, oh yeah, they can do anything. They can do anything. Timothy said it is illegal to grow blueberries in Florida because of fungus that possibly could grow. So, the funniest thing about that is, now just imagine if people wanted to grow vegetation in their backyards or in their homes. They could easily sit up there and say, no, 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 there's a new fungus directly out here, and it's not only dangerous to the plants, but it's potentially dangerous to animals and also human beings. So we prohibit the ability of human beings of being able to grow their own vegetation in their backyards because of that, because of the likelihood, because of the potentiality. And again, science has made a lot of different diseases. Just saying. Just saying. James said, "How many farms in the South is near a graveyard?" That's a very good question. How many farms and things of that nature are also near like plants and different things like that are actually negative? You know, that add negative chemicals into the airways or the ground soil or the rainwater. That's another thing as well. I think I covered something about that, about a certain city where they had to deal with a plant being next to the city and people being sick and all. I think I covered some sort of on that. James and I would say you can survive on beans and rice. Yeah, I eat beans and rice. My main favorite thing that I be cooking here, which I'm probably going to end up cooking in a minute, beans, rice, and cornbread. That is my meal. I don't care how people feel about it. To me, it is comfort food and it tastes great. It's very easy and simple to do. Very easy and simple to do. Tia said they have tech for charging cell phones longer. Yep. Yeah, we got Kid Gravity in the building. What is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Yep, back to what Tia said. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Jay said, yes, there's a phone. Uh, would last me a day and a half, and guess what? It's not an iPhone. Yep. Yep. That is bars. Timothy said, Earth is like Africa. Humans don't own their own home. That's facts. Gregory said, listen to this live at work. Continue great work. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Like I said, if people can happen to find or get something directly out of any of the things that I'm saying, that's cool. If people decide to also research and find out some new information, that's also great as well. If people find this entertaining and it helps people get through their work day or their work period, that is also awesome and great as well. I deem that as a success. um, Timothy says sperm whales are top of the food chain that we know. Yeah. They also had some other whales at a point in time that actually had some teeth as well. And I was looking at them bad boys. I'm like, ooh. I'm glad that if you are not extinct, that you have very low numbers, because that is something I would not want to see. I'm not trying to sit up there and run into a whale that got a full blown teeth. That's dangerous. That is dangerous, dangerous. Um, Ty said, "I have returned. I didn't even know you ventured away." There's a one said, "I do wait. I do that. Ants like that. It's a shroom. I think I know what you're talking about." We got Officer Haku in the building. Said I got on the tab. I'm about to get back to streaming. All right, I got you. Much appreciation. Uh, what is it? DSA one said. Oh, you're talking Kid Gravity. Timothy said. Cordyceps is a fungus. It makes the host follow the light and the airflow for the best spawn point to infest others. It's not limited to ants. There are other. There's nothing stopping it to adapt it. No. You're right. You're right. You're right. I just listed ants because that was like one of the main things that I saw from the video or the documentary that I was watching. Like I said, like I said, people should just like take out their time and do stuff outside of their comfort zone. Go watch. I'll tell y'all this. I've watched quite a few videos of people who know things about mushrooms, and there's a multitude of different mushrooms specifically out there that are good for a variety of things. And some of these grow directly in North America. You can also order some of these things as well. There's a lot of books directly on these as well. Like I said, people should start looking up a lot of stuff. There's nothing wrong with watching some nature videos and learning things that are poisonous and learning about things that are not poisonous, because you never know when it might come to a point in time where you have to actually uh, deal with that knowledge that you have, and you'll actually be forced to, or you might need to apply that knowledge, and make use of it. Like I said, you never know where any of these things can be implemented, or maybe you could potentially teach it to somebody else that might just so happen might need it, might use it, or different things of that nature. So you got a lot of different YouTubers out here that are highly knowledgeable on a lot of these things, and they've been doing this for like 10 years plus. So again, it ain't nothing wrong with getting away from the everyday content that you're used to sitting up there watching. Go look up some documentaries on stuff that you don't know about when it deals with irrigation, agriculture, when it deals with vegetation, how to grow stuff, how to garden, how to take care of this, how to take care of that, how to filter water, right, from certain particulates, how to deal with polluted or unclean water, but and make it drinkable, and the different methods to do that, how to make your own filtration system, right, how to deal with gardens, or how to grow things. I forgot what they specifically, and I just watched the video on it. It wasn't hydroponics. What was it? It was basically they got a system in place where you can grow gardens without the need of pesticides and soil. So it's in a sense, what you would do is, somebody might know what it is in the comment section. You might know the word for it. I cannot for the life of me think of it. But if you just so happen to see it, what they do is they have like this little, it's almost like a little mini, not exactly a greenhouse, but it's like a little mini greenhouse that they got. And you'll have the plants or the seeds. They're growing with the help of 3-second sprays of water, right? And what they've noticed is that due to the effect of them not needing the pesticides and not needing the soil, that the plants grow 3 times faster than what they normally would while they're actually in soil. Because remember, they don't have to really fight a lot of things in order to get the light that they need, because the light is being consistently supplied, by way of the system that they have in place, and they're getting the water that they need to grow. So you got different ways again to sit up there and actually grow plants without the need of soil and pesticides, which is great. Just think about that. We used to be at a point in time where we would actually grow a lot of our foods and vegetation without the needs of pesticides. Because remember, a lot of if we're putting pesticides on a food, that means that the pesticide is also in the soil, which means that the roots, or down south, as my grandmother used to say, the roots of the plants are also in the soil. So then, on top of the pollution that is in the clouds, in the air, that is getting sucked up and that's getting dropped down by rainwater, that is getting sucked in, you also got the pollution that is also being added directly into that. And all of that is getting directly thrown into the plants. So all of that is getting absorbed. So, like I said, just imagine if we had a point in time where we're not using any of these things to basically deal with our vegetation. Let's see how sick people would be. Let's see how many people would have these allergies or be allergic to all of these things. A lot of that would nonsense would stop to it would cease to not exist. Not saying that you wouldn't have people, but you wouldn't have as many. Because if you ask a lot of the older generation if they had kids and they were as allergic as the kids now, they'll be like, no, this was never even a thing. Kids weren't allergic to all of these strawberries, these pineapples, these mangoes, and all this other type of. This is stuff that is taking place because of the stuff that is being inserted in the food and how the food is being grown and is having a reaction with the human body. And this is what happens with that reaction. Because again, when I was growing up, the most that kids were allergic to, you might have had what? Pineapples, peanuts, strawberries. Rare instances, you might have had kids that were allergic to like bananas. But those are pretty much the main top three things that kids were allergic to. Now you got kids out here allergic to the whole periodic table. And it's like, how? You ain't even come in contact with any of this stuff. How are you allergic? It don't even make sense. But, people look at you, crazy when you start questions. People start looking at you crazy. Ty said nerve gear. Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah, nerve gear. Yep. Timothy said, Seiji, have you heard of a device called the Bell? The German army developed in World War II that was called and Mystery of the Spirit. I think I know what you're talking about. Like I said, I watched when it dealt with the Germans. Let me tell you, they were it was they were diabolical when they came up with some of their stuff. I was intrigued. I'm like, wow. I almost wonder with some of this technology how the world would look in a whole vastly different place. I wonder where science and stuff would be. I mean, I know that it would look like Wolfenstein and whatnot, but I'm very much intrigued. I'm like, yo, some of this stuff was really interesting. Some people are like, oh, so you're agreeing with the. No, I'm saying that I'm highly interested in the technology. Like I said before, a lot of the technology that we have come through ways of, torture, sacrifice, and a variety of, other different things that we don't specifically even know about or understand. But we got the end result, and that's all people care about. If you tell people that a lot of the technology and stuff that we got, you had to sacrifice 1,000 people in order to produce this technology, in order to have the tech that we have now, nobody's going to care. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that's bad for those people, RIP, but, we got this technology, so, it is what it is. That's what people want to say. People ain't going to care about the beginning. They only care about the end result. That's all people want to care about. So again, I'm saying that the tech that they were working on, like I said, I've seen a lot of different documentaries and videos, and some of the stuff that they had and how quick that they were sitting up there producing and doing a lot of these things, woo, it was a problem. They was a problem. And the funniest thing, if you actually look and think about it, just think if a lot of these technologies that from all over the world, if all of these were applied by, a lot of these minds, right, who were great during that time. Just imagine if all of these people were using that for the good of humanity. Just think of where the world and society would be at this moment in time. We would be living literally on a utopia. We would have clean water, clean oceans. We would have free electricity. Like the way that we would actually progress as a human civilization, it would be something that you wouldn't even be able to see in science fiction. it would be something that would be crazy. Like I said, just to let people know, we already got flying cars. The first flying car has already been, officially allowed to be. And I think, how much does it cost? I think is it like 300K for that car? I think it's like 300K. And I think the license, you don't need a pilot license. You need I think a drone license in order to have that car. But you can pre-order it now. And they're gonna start shipping them out. I think about like 2024. Y'all can go look it up. Like I said, it's some very interesting technology, directly out here that people better start paying attention to. So all those people like, yo man, where the flying cars at? We got them. Where the cars that can turn into boats? We got them. The main thing. This is all I want. I don't care about nothing else. Well, maybe I do want a mobile suit, but other than that, I want my Marty McFlys and I want that hoverboard. That's all I'm waiting for. We got all of this stuff that they creating. We got Skynet and everything else. Give me my hoverboard. Give me my Marty McFlys that can lace up by themselves, that don't cost $26,000 to get, and give me my hoverboard, man. That's all I want. Like I said, that's all I want. That's all I care about. Give me that. Timothy said you can disguise a guard multiple ways in plain sight, like an aquarium, for example. Yeah, yo, they got glass out here that can make you invisible. I'm not sure if people have actually seen that, but they got glass out here that can literally make you invisible. You could put that on a beach, and as soon as you walk behind that glass, you're pretty much invisible. Like they ain't seeing you. Ain't nobody gonna be noticing you. Ain't nobody gonna think that even a person is even there. Like I said, it's a lot of technology and stuff that is there. A lot of tech. A lot of tech. A lot of tech. Let me see. Shamika, what is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. You said, "LOL." Yes, I say the roots. Yeah, I say that because of my grandmother. She was, down south. She grew up on a farm, and that's what she would always say. It's like, yeah, you gotta go down to the roots. Or if it ain't about food, you gotta go down to the roots of the situation. Like I said, people from the south, it's like, this from, certain places, like the pronunciation and stuff is funny. You know. James and Iris said food sprays with antibiotics. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, like I said, there's a lot of stuff directly out there that is being put directly in food, and people don't even understand it. Timothy said between Germany and Nikola Tesla, we'd be living on the moon by now. Yeah, like, yo, I put it to you like this. Between what the Germans were doing, what Nikola Tesla was doing, and then if other people with knowledge and technology, such as like the continent of Africa, if a lot of that stuff was like actually well known and it wasn't basically erased and it wasn't hidden from people, we would have had citadels. We would have turned into, what was it? I think, what is it, like a class 3 or 4 civilization? But basically, we would have been pulling power from the sun. We would have been interstellar. We would have been at that point. We would have been able to basically put a Dyson sphere or something close to that around the sun in order to, gather, the energy and the power in order for us to do certain things. We would have potentially even been at the point of possibly terraforming planets. I would sit up and say I'm just going to say that's a theory. Just a theory. Just a theory. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. That is all I am saying. What we got? Timothy said, "I'm with you with both mobile suits and hoverboards. You can buy the drone board for 30K right now." Yo! I think I seen this one dude. I think he was in Vegas, and he had something like that, and he was just, it was cold. Oh my God, yo! Let me tell you something. If I had the money, There was so much tech that I would be showing off on this channel. It would be unbelievable. Oh my God, it would be so fun. It would be so fun. In order to sit up there and do that, it would be fun. It would be fun. But 30K ain't bad. 30K is not too bad. And if you got a business, that's easy to sit up there and get. Man, let me tell you, one of these days, I sound like dude from the Honeymooners. Bing, bing, pow, straight to the moon. One of these days. And it's funny, actually, side note, it's funny to think about the Honeymooners in that he would say that every single time, and this dude was literally talking about hitting his wife, and everybody found it funny. Ah, I'm very much shocked that cancel culture isn't trying to cancel the honeymooners and having people trying to write that out. I'm very shocked. Like I said, people that's how you could tell the generation of cancer culture. I said cancer culture, cancel culture. That's how you can tell the generation because they aren't old enough to know about a lot of these old shows that would make light and jokes of like a lot of stuff out here. Uh, Obzaku said, "Is this a new channel?" Wait, what? Wait, what is it? I'm confused. Oh, you talking about that one? Yeah, that's one I had that up there for a while. The Senji Zone been up there for a few years, actually. Been up there for a few years, just sitting up there, like laying dormant and stuff. Um, just all right, much appreciation, brother, much appreciation. Tia said, if only you follow your own ancestors, you would already had all of this before the Cabbage Patch Kids came here from Eurasia and destroyed everything. Yeah, like I said, Trojan horses are everywhere, and I feel like the same thing that happened in Africa to a lot of the different countries there, where the libraries and the language and the religion and all the knowledge was pretty much destroyed, and then it was taken by other people. That's the same thing that happened in many other black cities in the United States. They were pretty much anything that they built, anything that they did, it's ancient history. You don't even know about it because nobody wanted to. Were the ones that were there. They didn't want to record it, and the ones that actually experienced it, they are no longer here because they were in a sense made to be disappeared, for lack of a better word, because YouTube is sensitive on certain things. um Wait, I'm lost. He said, "What's wrong with the treat?" I'm lost. I don't know what that means. uh oh, you said everybody threatens their wife every now and again. Well, like I said, the I'm just pointing out the fact that when it deals with like certain things, people, it's a pick and choose situation. Cancel culture likes to try to deal with anything where men are supposedly, doing this, that, and the third, and all these other types of things. But yet, the honeymooners again, and some other shows as well. I think All in the Family had some stuff in there too. But yet, cancel culture ain't, talking about that. I think that the Jeffersons might have touched on something as well. Like I said, it was a few different shows that touched on some things, but people ain't trying to cancel everything. It's only specific things, or magically when it gets brought to their attention, now they're just like, oh my god, I can't believe this is the thing. We have to cancel this, and I'm like, shut up. I'm like, the sensitivity that is going on you can't cancel everything that you dislike or that makes you like uncomfortable. That's just not going to sit up there and work. That's not how it worked with the generation that I came from. You just dealt with it. You can't just like Like it's so stupid. It's so stupid. Um, James and Iris said the age of the Jetsons. Yeah, we would have had that. Well, technically, the jacked up part is if you think about the Jetsons, uh, somebody basically, in a sense, stated that the Jetsons they're living in a polluted planet, right? Because you never see them actually go to the ground. Everything is above the sky, right? So usually when you look at any game where everybody is living in the air, usually is something wrong with the ground. Something humans did something in order to jack up and to pollute the ground below. So they were forced to basically figure out a way to live above it. So if you look at the Jetsons, that's basically what you have. You have all the humans living above ground, living in the clouds. In Warframe, they got areas on different planets where they have these stations where the ground below is in a sense polluted, right? You got these certain chemicals that are in the clouds and yada yada yada. But they found a way to, in a sense, live in a sort of Goldilocks type of zone where you can, have some type of normalcy there. It's relatively the exact same thing. Um, Timothy said the Jetsons never verified that they were on Earth, did they? You know what? You're correct. I'm just going to assume. Because to my knowledge, anytime we got sci-fi, we normally have humans that are directly on Earth. That's normally how it works. Now, of course, we have some instances where people are on Mars, but normally, if they're on Mars, you can tell that it's the red planet. They'll let you know that it's Mars. If it's Venus, again, something had to transpire and take place in order to terraform, in order to make it what it is. Because we all know from everything that is stated by at least science book and scientists that Venus is a very gravity heavy type of planet. I think it was what, like 90 times that of Earth. On top of that, you got thick blankets of clouds, which produce acid rain. So there is nothing there. Like it. So if the acid rain doesn't kill you, I'm sorry, I said that. If the acid rain doesn't technically take you out, then the gravity will, because you don't really have anything that's going to be able to fight that gravity. Like it'll turn you into a tin can. Like it is done. It is done. That is not a great way to go out, to be compressed. Ooh, that's bad. So again, like those are the main two planets that I can think of. And I know it's not going to be Mercury. Mercury is too hot. Mercury doesn't even have an atmosphere, or if it does, it's way too thin that it can't even do anything. That's why Mercury is consistently getting grilled. You know. What else we got? It's not, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, Saturn. I I don't even I can't even sit up there state it's one of any of the moons in between those large bodies either. Because again, those are way too far from the sun. And when you see the Jetsons, you can see the sun like you would on Earth, right? But then if you, let's say, if you look at certain games like Callisto Protocol and you're on one of the moons there, you can see the sun, but it literally looks like a speck. It really looks like a speck versus how we normally see the sun, right? Uh, Timothy said all sci-fi media are predictions at this point. Yeah, yeah, predictions, or it can be pre-programming, either which way or both. You can have two things at the same time. Different things of that nature. But like I said, going back to the main conversation that we had, this AI stuff is something else. Matter of fact, let me see, because I think I might be able to pull up um the vehicle that I was actually talking about. I can actually get that to y'all. Let me see. Um, whoops, spelled that wrong. Ah, there we go. Yes, indeed. I'm just trying to get the picture. There we go. There we go. So this is what the first flying car. Let me just get this picture over to y'all real quick. This is what the first flying car basically is. And again, y'all can look up the story for yourselves. This is what it looks like. It might not look much to people, but this is exactly. Messed it up right there. There we go. Trying to zoom it in for y'all real quick. So that's the first flying car looks like. And they basically stated that the first flying electric car, Model A, is approved by the FAA and it's 100% electric. This week, Elf Aeronautics revealed its flying car Model A was granted legal permission from the Federal Aviation Administration to test run the vehicle on the road and in the sky, a move needed before it can be released to the public. The company, first to receive a special airworthiness certification from the FAA, the company said in a news release. The clarification limits the location and the purpose for which the vehicle is allowed to fly. The vehicle will also need to meet the National Highway and Traffic Safety Administration safety standards before taking flight. But the company's CEO stated that the company is hopeful that the certification will be our next step. Quote, the historical significance of this cannot be overstated. While there are and have been pioneers, uh, this is the first time a vehicle in the traditional sense parks and drives like a car, functions like a car, looks like a car, has received permission to fly. It's also important that the company is the first electric car which receives permission to fly. And last but not least, the ability for vertical takeoff is central. Yeah, it's central to most people's conception of a flying vehicle. Under the Code of Federal Regulations, the company is required to report any issues, including malfunctions or defects, to the United States government agency during Model A's development and testing. Available for pre orders. The flying car is now available for pre orders, right? Carrying one or two occupants, the vehicle will sell for about 300 grand. The Model A is 100% electric, drivable on public roads, and has vertical takeoff and landing capabilities, the company wrote in a release. The car will be a low speed vehicle, meaning it won't go faster than 25 miles per hour on a paved surface. If a driver needs a faster route, they will be able to use the vehicle's flight capabilities according to the company. As of Friday, pre sales were open with interested customers able to pay a $150 deposit to get on the waiting list or $1,500 for a priority spot on the listing queue. So again, this is a car that is soon enough going to be released pretty soon. If you got 300 grand, you can sit up there and snatch up one of these bad boys right now. You can do it. If you got 300 grand, you can sit up there and do that. Right? Let me see. And they said they got about 4 years worth of flight testing. The version that customers receive has a driving range of 200 miles and a flight range of 110 miles. That's pretty good for being electric. That is actually pretty good. That's pretty interesting. Like I said, so a lot of people that wanted the future to be now, you wanted to deal with flying cars and everything like that. Them cars are here. Like I said, the only thing I want my hoverboard and my Martin McFly. That's all I'm looking for. That's it. That is all I am looking for. What else we got up here? They got the Ford Mustang Dark Horse R teased on social media. Oh, that look all right. Don't look too bad. That does not look too bad. But yep, that is that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I wanted to go over. What I wanted to happen to highlight at this moment in time. And it's about 3 hours. I got to do that good stretch. I've been sitting here for about 3 hours and 9 minutes. Uh, on here at this moment in time. Let me see. He said, "Did I make a thread account yet?" It's probably going to be a separate account because let me see. I got this post. Matter of fact, since let me just highlight that to a lot of people, just in case y'all might not know about threads. I just want to put a very handy dandy um, warning directly out there. Let me see. Let me see what we got. Let me see if I can go back here. I got to go to profile. Stuff that I saved real quick. Yeah, so this is what it's in a sense looking like. Let me just capture this real quick. So this is for the brand new threads application that is directly up there. Matter of fact, let me just highlight that one. Let me just do that one. That's a lot better, a little bit easier. And this is a shout out to the tall guy Tycoon who originally had posted the information directly up here. Trying to actually put that handy dandy stuff together. Let me get rid of this flying car. Since we're talking about the now and not specifically the future. So just in case for a lot of people that might want to go up there and they want to sign up for threads, I just want y'all to just read this real quick. Right? Threads app for Android and iPhone, right? It tells you the instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It says you can only deactivate your profile once a week, right? If you don't want to deactivate your profile, but you want to change who can see your posts, you can set your profile to private or block someone's profile. They also stated you can always delete individual posts, but to delete your Threads profile and your data, you'll need to delete your Instagram account as well. So, just in case, if anybody wants to happen to make a Threads account, shout out to Mark Zuckerberg for putting people in that Suge Knight 360 deal. Shout out to Mark Zuckerberg. He out here doing it. Like I said before, whenever we happen to sign up for stuff, nobody actually reads the fine print. This is what it looks like when people don't just so happen to read the fine print, but we happen to sign up for any and everything. This is what that looks like. This is how companies can basically put you into contracts, put you into deals, link up all of your stuff. So if you want to get out of something, you got to get out of all of it. So if you basically linked up something that you really cared about, let's say if you're a celebrity and you linked up your Threads account by way of your IG or whatever it is, oh, you got about 17 million on your IG, and you got all this other type of stuff you trying to do on Threads. Oh, you don't like Threads no more? Well, guess what? You got to get rid of that IG. So all that 17 million that you got is it's over, right? But then the stupid limitation, which is crazy, they said that you can only deactivate your profile once a week. How do you tell somebody that you can only do this one? It's their profile. What if I want to, what if I want to deactivate it like every single day or something? What if it's a little bit too busy? It's like I said, it's a lot of stipulations. Like people gotta, Oh no, trust me, yo, let me tell you, I ain't been on Diablo for a minute. We got Cupcake in there. What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. We got I ain't been on Diablo in a minute because I've been up here just like online just looking at a whole bunch of, like other stuff, and this is one of the things that showed up, and I'm like, whoo, I'm like, ooh, boy, Mark Zuckerberg, he doing it out here in these streets. Let me tell you. Like I said, people don't like Elon Musk, but Elon ain't trying to sit up there and set people up like that. That's crazy. That man was like, yo, you want to sit up there and be in the threads? You in here all the way. If you don't want to be in threads no more, you ain't on IG no more. I'm shocked he didn't say it's going to delete your Facebook. I'm shocked he didn't do that. But I guess that was a little bit too much for him. He ain't trying to lose all them people off of Facebook after they've been losing hundreds of millions of dollars due to the metaverse and everything like that. I guess he was like, yo, we can just, we can cut the cord on IG if we want to. We can cut it off at the knees if we need to. But we ain't gonna do that to Facebook though. Being said, I had to delete my husband's IG account this week. Yo, the thing I tell people though, if you want to basically do threads, just do it separately. Have a separate email. Just make sure it's completely separate. It ain't linked up or anything like that, so that you don't have to sit up there and deal with this potentiality. But like I said, and I told people before, we're in a society now where they try to link everything together to make it easier. Oh, my bad. Let me take that down. My bad. I forgot. I had the what's the name still up there. Y'all can't even see that. My bad. My apologies. My apologies. Um, but we're in a society now where they make it easy for them to track, right? So case in point, everybody got a Google, right? At a point in time, you had to make a whole brand new email in order to sign up to a lot of different things, right? It either had to be you did it by Yahoo, you did it by Google or whoever, Hotmail, Gmail, whatever. Now it's like you can just associate everything with Google. So if you got a Google account, guess what? It's easy for them to sit up there and see every single website that you basically on, because everybody's going to do what? We're going to sign up by everything with a Google account because it's easier, because we've grown lazy, because we don't want to sit up there and go through, okay, I got to put my full name again. I got to put my age. I got to put my date of birth. I got to come up with the name. I got to do this. I got to do it. Nobody's trying to do that. And then on top of that, you got to remember that password. So a lot of these companies know that and understand it. And they realize that we would rather allow them to have full control over what it is in full knowledge base versus us taking the normal route that we used to sit up there and do, which is just like having a multitude of email addresses. So, again, hey, you got to pick and choose. You know, so again, the best bet if you want to start threads is that you make a complete separate account that's away from your Facebook. It is away from, your IG and all this other type of stuff, so that you don't have things commingling, so that, Zuckerberg can't sit up there and put you in that Suge Knight deal and just jack up everything. That's what it is, Uh, Obstacle said, Mark, either delete your account slash or Elon will make you pay to verify your account. Like I said, some of this stuff is very funny. It's very funny. The one thing I'll sit up there and say is this. Of course, there are critiques in between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk that everybody can sit up there and make, but I'll sit up there and state this. I like Twitter being the wild, wild west, and how it is that you're able to put information up there and you're not really going to get banned or blocked or shadowed or anything like that. If people want to see it, they can see it. If they don't, they can just block it or look past it. It's not because the people at Twitter are paid to basically make sure that people don't see your post, because that's what Twitter was doing originally. Because again, people complain about how Elon Musk is basically running Twitter, but people forgot that a lot of the information that we got out there now is only due to the fact that Elon is running it. So people are technically, if they want to be more informed, they can go through Twitter and look through a lot of the information that is up there and come to their own conclusion, versus Twitter being like, you know what, you guys are children. You guys are adults, but you're children. So we're going to go through the information and let you know what's good that you can actually read and go through because we verified it, or we're just going to get rid of it so that you don't even know that it exists. Mark Zuckerberg, on the other hand, He gets money from everywhere. He also got money from selling everybody's information. This is why, like I told y'all before, there was a nice lawsuit going on with Facebook. If you had a profile during a certain amount of time, you could basically sign your name and all the other type of information, and they'll let you know how much that you could potentially get. You also link that profile as well as proof, and they'll basically determine how much how much money that you just so happen to get. But that's if people actually went for it. I know that some people are like, well, I'm not going to go for it because there's too much information and they can do anything with it and yada yada yada. They're doing everything and anything with your information anyway. They've been doing it since and before 9/11. So I'm not exactly too sure, why people would be afraid for their information. All your information is on your cell phone. Hackers have access to your cell phone. If they don't have access to your cell phone, they have access to the server that is connected to your cell phone, which is connected to the company that owns your cell phone. So either which way it goes, people have your information. So, I'm just saying, just letting people know, just in case people just might be afraid of certain things out there. It makes no sense to be afraid. Should have been afraid years ago. So let's see what this Threads looks like. Let's see what this looks like. Threads. Oh boy, I forget. I think I would have had to. What's the name? Let me see if I can actually see the link directly for this. I know there's a link. I think I would have to go through IG to sit up there and actually find it. Let me see this real quick. Let me just look that up. Got to go into search. Type that in real quick. Right, all you need to know about Threads. Where is the link? I forgot. I had to sit up there and just search for it a little bit later. If you're on computer, you can easily just use BlueStacks, or if you got Windows 11, you can also do it that way as well, because Windows 11 also runs apps natively without the use of a third-party app. So either which way, you can sit up there and just download it. You don't even actually have to have it on your cell phone at all. But yeah, I'm going to sit up there and look that up and probably, maybe, possibly do a video on it. Not sure, but we will see. But anyways, that is it pretty much for this live stream. That is where we are at this moment in time, and we just had 3 people show up. My condolences. And like I said, hopefully y'all enjoyed the live stream, my rambling, my conspiracy theories, and everything that I basically stated. Hopefully people found it entertaining. Might have got people directly through their work day, work period, work week. Hopefully you made it home the same way that you left. And you guys, again, have a very great weekend. So I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun, with your families and everything of that sense. Much love, respect, and appreciation. And again, if you would like to donate directly to the platform, you can do that by way of the links that you see throughout the video for the last hour. And you can do that by the links that you see in the video description below. Anyways, peace out.